I like this.
BJ Nix, are you here?
Present.
Present. Spoonie, Timothy Spoonie.
Present, sir.
Margaret and Mary. Do we have a Margaret and Mary?
Yes. Cool. And the margaritas.
All right. Class here. We're ready. Let's go.
Yes, let's go.
Okay.
This is the time to line up behind your team, to support your team, have faith in that team.
You know, it's peaks and valleys. You know, it can't always be good. And as I always tell people, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. But when you do know about
house call, Trevon Diggs pick six. It's coming. They see it. Knocked away. Oh, Gregory. Hurts in trouble. 3 Cowboys wrap him up, make it 4. Micah Parsons is unblockable.
yeah, man. Y'all know what the business is. Y'all know what the business is. Look. Episode 3, your boy got a little cut. You know what I'm saying? No hat. Look, a little part. I got to figure out how it works real quick. We're in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know what it is. Every single Friday, we got the Cowboys Happy Hour space. On the back side, it's the Freestyle Friday. You know, I'm going to pay these bills. Like, share, sub. That's it. It's $3.99 to like, share, and sub. It's $3.99. By all means, let the people know. Let's keep growing this thing as we're ramping up to training camp. As my guy, Professor O's over there. You know,
yeah, I'm already live right out here at Oxnard, just waiting for the team to show up. 26 days to go. They're gonna join me here, so I'm just gonna be camped out right in this spot, waiting for the team. So weather's nice and warm, 74 degrees. There's a light breeze coming from the east. I don't know, whatever. We're here though.
Yeah. No ifs or buts about it. And of course tonight, you know, we real quick. Let me give a special shout out. I got Cole's Cowboy. He's in the chat. He's been through the first 2 episodes. Hey, you know what? Hey, he said, man, wifey's got a birthday. So real quick, in the chat, show some love. It's the wifey's birthday for Cole's Cowboy. Show some love for the wifey. Shout out to the wifey. Hope she has a fantastic birthday. My guy's doing this thing for sure.
Happy
Somebody
birthday.
on here has
happy birthday.
Loud. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's Space. I don't know who it is. Somebody got something I can hear us talking. Who's got it up? Is it me? It might be me. Hold on, let me look. I bet it's me though. See, I was messing with y'all. I knew it was me the whole time.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I was scrambling like, I don't know, man. Let me?
Yeah. Let me get through the before I spin around the rest of the way. Bruce in the bill said, "What up, Professor?" You know, he chimed in earlier and said, "Hey, man, Micah Parsons, unblockable. My favorite part. That part." I got Tavis is in the building. Says Keystone checking in. Man, what's going on tonight? Let me pivot.
Keystone, his name always reminds me of when I went to college at Blinn. The only beer we could afford was Keystone, so we'd buy, the 30
Keystone
Stones because it was like $12. Yeah, we drank. Every time I see Keystone, that's what I think of.
Cowboy Nation, boom, there it is. Boom, go over here. I got Cowboy Brian. Hey, y'all. And of course, Brian in the building. What's up, man? Hey, man, fantastic. Glad you're all tuning in. We appreciate y'all as always. For those that wasn't a part of the Twitter space, the Cowboys Happy Hour,
He knows.
Spoonie in space.
He knows.
We had some. We had some times over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir.
You know, backup quarterback, defensive line depth. You know, maybe we'll talk about some of that tonight. But we might get into that. It's going to be a fun time. Space. I know you said a little under the weather. You know,
Yeah.
kind of coming back.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back to it. Yeah, I'm trying to moderate how much I can do before I like pass out. So I'm like, just got my Gatorade here, so I'll be good. So
Electrolytes. Oh, Chicago says BJ Nix with the beat. Come on, man. Hey, we gotta keep it funky. Hey, gotta keep it funky. You know what I mean? Gotta make sure it makes it happen. I got Bruce with the peace sign for Nick Spoonie. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you as always. Tavis with the brewski. And of course, remember on Friday, TGIF, it is the 4th of July weekend. I'm telling y'all right now, at the shop today, sheesh. Man, I can't even get to the space. I had 5 minutes late to the space. We were hella busy. People are ready and turned up for this weekend. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend and enjoys the 4th of July, man. You know, make it do what it do. And but that's probably some, I mean, don't be JPP, right? Let's not hold those firecrackers in the hand, you know, but enjoy and do what it is that you got to do. Slim picking 6 packs of Natty and 4 Loco will do you good when you are broke. Or if you're a college student, right, Professor O?
Right. Yeah. See, Four Loko wasn't a thing back then because I'm older than I appear. So back then that was not an option. So we just had Keystones, and that's what we could afford. So we, pitch in $5 or $6 each and go to the gas station, and they didn't check our IDs. So we just nice to see you, fist bump, and leave.
Our God knows that JPP was like, look, just a PSA, Dom. Just a PSA for me. I'm just saying. End of the day, don't hold them in your hands too long. No ifs, ands, or buts. My guy says a Spoonie. Look at there. Yeah. Hey, wine cooler Friday. Is it wine cooler Friday over there?
No. Got some Patron mixed up with some good stuff.
Oh, little Patron. Oh, yeah. Actually, he was on. Yeah. Was that the same Patron bottle from last weekend you was on? Yeah, we saw that last weekend. He was in the building.
Some organic plants.
Okay, a little organic, yeah. I mean, vegetarian, if you will. With that being said, if you're on YouTube right now, because we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. But if you're on YouTube, we actually have the link. It's pinned to the top. If you want to click the link, come on here and chop it up with us. It's wide open. If you like, man, I want to do it, but I want to put my face out there. It's okay. You don't have to use your camera. You come up here and do whatever, and we're going to talk some Cowboys talk. Friday shows for sure, as always, is about us interacting with y'all. Now if you want some good Cowboy content, our guy Space does some content. Make sure you follow him. On the backside, every Wednesday, as we're going through camp and everything else, we have the Pick Six Sports Live every Wednesday with Spoonie, me, and of course Mary Ella in the building, and we deliver it that way. But tonight, it's just like a space, except you got a face. I'm a poet, and I didn't know it. and we're going to sit here and rock out. My guy, Smack Nation's in the building. What's going on? Donald Weaver's in the building as well. Let's go. So let me build around. Well, actually, because you actually had a great picture tweet earlier tonight. There, let the people know, if they didn't see you on Twitter, what you got on deck tonight.
Yeah, it's summer. I'm usually an IPA guy. I don't know if it's gonna show up well with the green screen. I'm more in a blue shirt.
Fair enough. Wherever you can.
I'll try to get it up there for you guys. It's not gonna work. Kona Brewing, Big Wave. It's a golden ale. So it's got a little nice surf scene going on. Looks nice. Tastes good.
I love a Facebook user. Maybe he has me blocked. I don't know. Says November 20L. Who do you play November 20th? Real quick.
He reposted his skull, so I'm guessing Vikings.
Oh, that's my guy Chris London. That's what I'm gonna guess. I miss Chris London. Yeah. He did say skull. I mean, but here's the thing, though. I mean, Cooper Rush beat y'all in y'all's building last year. So what are we really talking about? neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. But mentioning the fact that our backup quarterback Cooper Rush went up there and beat the Minnesota Vikings, that was kind of the hot button topic on the space, on the happy hour space before we got here, Spoonie and Space. So maybe let's kind of dive into that a little bit, right? Backup quarterback seems to be, as I've been running these spaces over the past 2 or so weeks or whatever, the backup quarterback seems to be a very hot topic for Cowboys Nation and their fans and whatnot. So let me spin the wheel. Professor O, right? The quarterback depth chart, if you will. Rush, Greer, Ben DiNucci. Little indifferent in how you feel about the backup quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, the backup quarterback situation is definitely not exciting, attractive. It's nothing I feel comfortable with. But I also realize the Cowboys just aren't going to do that. Like, we've asked for a veteran backup for years. They gave us Andy Dalton for 1 year, and they were like, hey, we did what you wanted, and went right back to the same old, where we don't have depth at the backup quarterback spot. So it is what it is. I don't expect them to bring anybody in to actually push Cooper Rush off the roster. If Will Grier somehow, impresses at camp, maybe it's possible, but it looks, for all intents and purposes, like it's going to be Cooper Rush running it back again.
Spoonie, the backup quarterback position?
It's bad. I don't like it. You would think, you would have thought that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones learned when Romo went down, and even though we had a backup there, we had to go get Matt Castle, and then 1 year later trade for Brandon Whedon. Remember that? And then Jerry Jones came out and tried to sell us. Well, Brandon Whedon played with Dez in Oklahoma State. You would think that those situations will make you understand, you know what? Let's not have this again. And we saw what happened. We was fortunate, a little bit fortunate, even though it was a bad year when Dak went down, we had Andy Dalton. That should have taught you as well. But again, here we are. And I understand with Mike McCarthy, he's always drafted his backup quarterback, developed them and X, Y, and Z. But, in order, you don't want to have a great year. Basically, a situation like the Philadelphia Eagles with Nick Foles. That's not going to happen all the time with backup quarterbacks. When Carson went down, Nick Foles go in there and went and help the team win it all. That's a situation. That's why you want a good backup. But I don't know. Hopefully, there's somebody gets cut, surprise cut or whatever, and we bring somebody in for that competition.
Okay, Space, backup quarterback.
When it comes to backup quarterbacks, you really don't. When you lose your starting quarterback, you don't have a plan for fucked, and that's exactly what happened in 2020, to be honest with you. So if your quarterback...
Wait. You say Andy Dalton wasn't the guy?
No, he did exactly what he was supposed to do. But the thing is that you don't expect to lose your quarterback for the whole season. Sometimes you do, but I'll give you an example. If we had a situation where, let's say, same time this year, right? Like how we lost Dak to that calf strain. Let's say we lost him for, 3 games or something like that for him to rest. Then that's what you need a backup quarterback for. But if you lose your quarterback for the year, no one gives a damn if you got a backup quarterback. You're not going to do anything. It's a lost year for you. That's just being the truth. But I'm not really the biggest fan of the room. We'll trade you. Oh my God!
Sure. Hey, look. Let's be clear. Let's be clear though, Space. We'll give him Cooper Rush for Daniel Jones as a backup,
sure.
Right? I mean, I think nobody on this panel disagrees with that, right?
What was that?
No.
Yeah, Cooper Rush for Daniel Jones.
No, I don't think Daniel Jones is a high-level starting quarterback, but backup, he's better than Cooper Rush. So
yeah, there you go. But no, I think that when it comes to what you got right now, I mean, they are very complacent, and usually they hit the panic button because they try to make their season somewhat relevant. They're like, oh shit, we got to try and not botch this. But I'm going to be honest, if you lose your quarterback for the season, you might as well just get ready for draft season. However, you need to be prepared if you only got a couple of games without your quarterback. So I think Cooper Rush can hold it down maybe for a game or two, but not the full length of the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it's just kind of the thing. And that's kind of what we talked about on the space. And I was like, look, I don't care what we're really, look, backup quarterback, you want to have a great one, right? Sure, Teddy Bridgewater in Miami, that's great. That's fantastic. But the problem with the NFL in general is there's not really a solidified, anybody stop me if I'm wrong here, there's not a legitimate 20 starting quarterbacks in the league.
Right.
So now you're trying to get through those guys into the backups. So it's an issue. So I brought it up. I said real quick, hey, who's the Rams' backup quarterback? Anybody? Anybody in the chat? Anybody anywhere? Who is the Rams' backup quarterback?
I know Blake Bortles was there, but I know he's not there anymore.
Yeah, he's a free agent, right? He's a free agent. Right. Yeah, I'm like, so if Stafford goes down, it's a problem. Sure, you want to have a backup quarterback that can maybe solidify you for like 3 games, maybe 4. You're getting into the weeds at 4. And again, I don't care. You spin the wheel of morality to a certain extent. And for the most part, if you lose your starting quarterback for half the season, most teams, I would say 90% of the teams, it's a wrap. It's done. So I understand the angst, if you will, when it comes to the Cowboys backup quarterback position. And my guy Seti, who comes to the Twitter spaces, he's like, he's more concerned about the idea of the work whenever Dak's not throwing the ball and being better with the wide receivers and different things. But here's the thing, though. That's fine, and I understand it. But for what it's worth, for one game at least last year, he was able to go win a game on the road, Minnesota, primetime football. So again, for the Cowboys, and I'm taking Ben DiNucci, Nucci gang, Nucci man. I look, and I rock with Nucci. I do rock with Nucci. But realistically, what we look at is we talk about going into camp and we talk about position battles. The position battle for a backup quarterback is literally Greer. Not that Nucci's not in that, but realistically, it's Greer versus Rush, and that's just where we are. So the idea of adding somebody or doing something, I think, just isn't the case. And you can say whatever, right? Greer has the arm more so than Rush, but can he be as productive as Rush within the system is the case. So I'll spin the wheel here, Professor O. Greer, Rush, or do you think there's an outside guy that ends up being the backup quarterback for the Cowboys?
I think Rush. I mean, they're comfortable with him. We've seen him, albeit in small doses, like you mentioned, the Minnesota game last year. That was a big moment. I mean, playing in a primetime, nationally televised game on a holiday, away, and having a fourth quarter comeback win, that's a big thing. It's easy to say, he doesn't have a rifle or rocket of an arm, and that's absolutely true. But he did what you ask your backup quarterback to do. You needed him in a small dose. He came in, and he did enough to win. He was pretty bad the first half, kind of after halftime seemed to get a little bit more comfortable and made a few big plays. So he's not somebody I want to see for more than 1 or 2 games in a year, like Space mentioned. But for one game, he was okay. I can live with him as backup quarterback. Obviously, I would like to improve that and have somebody that is maybe potentially a developmental quarterback that has a higher upside. But I think it's going to be Cooper Rush.
Slim Pickens says, what about Jimmy G? He might be looking for a backup spot soon.
I mean, I don't think he'll be looking for a backup spot soon. He might be forced into a backup spot soon, depending on how things work out with San Francisco, because it's getting late. Teams have already added their quarterbacks, via trade or a lot of trade in the offseason and drafting. Jimmy's not a bad quarterback. Jimmy's a pretty decent quarterback. He's not like a top 15 guy, but he's capable. But yeah, I can't see them bringing in because he's going to cost a lot more than what we're going to pay for a backup quarterback, even if that's a reduced number than where he's at currently. We'll say $8 million a year. We're not going to pay that for a backup quarterback. So I think he's going to want to go to a team that has a younger quarterback that he thinks he may be able to beat out, or a quarterback that's kind of iffy that he thinks he may have a chance to play. I can't imagine he'd want to play in Dallas. After doing that 2 straight teams now. He was in the same situation in New England, and now is in the same situation in San Francisco. I have to imagine he's going to want to go to a team like a Seattle, which they're not going to trade in division, but if he's released, or a team like maybe Carolina, where he has a legit chance to beat somebody out.
Right. Spoony, our guy Anthony Brown's in the middle says, we need real depth. That's what got us during the 90s. The one thing I will say, though, the cap changes that. But back to the quarterback position in general, what are we talking about here, Spoon? Are you where you at? Is it Rush? Is it Greer? Are you a Nucci fan? Nucci man?
It's great.
Nucci man, maybe. Okay, all right. Hey, look, everybody in the chat, your backup quarterback that you want for the Cowboys, Rush, Greer, Nucci man, or shall I dare tip into free agency? But hey, we kind of covered that. Y'all jump it in the comment section. But when you say Greer, go ahead, walk it out.
Yeah, everything that P.O. said was 100% correct with Rush. Again, that Vikings game where we won was the highlight of his career, and it definitely should be one of the things why he should get a chance to compete for the backup spot. But I choose Greer is for a weird reason. He was a third-round pick by the Panthers. I want to see what this guy can do. He has a solid arm. He's not afraid to throw down the field. When he played for Carolina, Jason Garrett, that was something.
How we doing, guys?
But I'll be honest with you, if it's between Rush and out of the three backups we have now on the roster, I'm picking Greer. If it's a guy outside the team right now, and I'm watching three guys on the company.
What you got?
Colt McCoy, Jacoby Brissett from the Browns, and let's see what happens with what's his name from Seattle, and Drew Lock situation.
Okay.
You know, they get what's his name from the Browns. See what happens. They have to try to add somebody here. No, Cam cannot play. His shoulder's done. He is done.
Can I give you a different name from Seattle?
Mm-hmm.
How about Jacob Eason? He's 24 years old, has a huge arm. There's a really strong chance he won't make the roster.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy that, when I'm talking about like a potential developmental who has some high upside,
right?
He's a guy I'd consider like bringing in and letting him compete and just see what happens. But yeah, just throwing that name out there when you mentioned Seattle.
10-4. All right, Space. Backup quarterback. Rush, Greer, Ben DiNucci, or maybe outside. What are you feeling right now?
Well, I know the Cowboys are going to stick with Cooper Rush, but I want to make this clear. Mike McCarthy, Jake Fromm. I like Jake Fromm, but here's my thing: is that Mike McCarthy typically likes to draft and develop backup quarterbacks. We saw this in Green Bay, if you've been paying attention to what he did there. And this is something that I really wish, the Cowboys start to push a little bit more. I really like Will Greer. I think that he has more to offer if you could tap into that more than Cooper Rush. But I think what is going to stick in a lot of people's minds is, Cooper Rush won us a game last season. But again, that's a one instance, and then the next thing you know, if Dak goes down and Cooper Rush has like a 5-interception game, people are like, what the hell? Maybe we should add someone else. So, I try to keep that Minnesota game as level-headed. It's an impressive win. I'm not trying to take away with what he did, but I'm kind of like, okay, what else can Cooper Rush bring to the table? Like, you need to be able to facilitate your offense without Dak Prescott, especially if you're going to run Dak a lot more. You're probably going to need someone that can do that as well, because you can't just be like, okay, we're going to go into an eggshell and act like, we could just conservatively call plays, which that's happened in years past with the Cowboys with the backup quarterback. 2015 is a prime example of this, and not 2020 really, but ever since, the Cowboys have a situation where we got backup quarterbacks, they always keep them in a shell. They don't want them to throw it, and whether it's because they're shitty or it's because they're that afraid, that's something that Mike McCarthy and this coaching staff really needs to hammer in on. But yeah, I want Will Greer, but I know the Cowboys will stick with Cooper Rush.
Will Greer, it's been a long time. 2019 was the last time he played, but he was terrible the last time we saw him in action. 0-2, 4 interceptions, 53% completion rate. It was Carolina. It wasn't a good team, but he was terrible. He was really, really bad. But again, that was 3 years ago. So that's why I'm I don't know that it's fair to discount Cooper Rush's one game. And not discount. I guess not discount, but just dismiss what we saw from Will Greer the last time we saw him.
Oh,
been
no,
a long
I got
time,
you. I mean, you could say the thing for both sides. Like, okay, he played real shitty, but this person played really well, and then something happened
Tiny
there.
sample sizes too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, Tyrod Taylor is not a free agent. He is currently the backup for the Giants, who his head coach was offensive coordinator when he was in Buffalo and Dieball. That he got Buffalo to the playoffs and so on and so forth. So yeah, Taylor's out there with Tyrone, unfortunately. Here's the thing. I think there's something. Look, and again, this is me kind of reading tea leaves, okay? This is me reading tea leaves here. When did they bring in Greer? When did Greer hit the roster? Right, middle of last year. Am I wrong there? Right.
Yeah, in the middle of the season.
And he got to work on the back side of the offense and understanding it and learning it. They gave him time. The one thing we always talk about here on Pick Six is this coaching staff is very, what's the term I want? Lenient, I guess. I don't know if lenient is the right word, but they're very much so in the idea of with the injury players, the players that are injured, give them the space to be completely right before they play them. Patient, maybe that's the better term.
Yeah.
Malik Hooker, right? Towards the end of the season, they gave him time to get back right, and then you saw the flip. And I talk about Greer, and the thing to me that pops up as I'm watching how this coaching staff has worked with injuries of different guys is this. He came in halfway through the season. That gave him time and go through things. Look, I'm not saying he's going to walk through the door and be anything, but what I am saying is they didn't take a guy this year. I think they've seen enough of Ben DiNucci. So to me, and I always go back to this as we have the spaces and these different guys, or whether it's Cam Newton's getting brought up or whoever, it's like, no, they've kind of bought in and they spent time with Will Greer. Not saying he's going to walk through the door by any stretch. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is they've given him enough space to be the guy that is going to challenge more so than Ben DiNucci and get more reps at camp than Ben DiNucci to challenge Cooper Rush. And I think that's where we are. To me, I don't see it any other different way. I think it's two quarterbacks that carry on the main roster, and it's going to come out to Rush or Greer. And again, Spoon, as we were talking on the space, we know Greer has the bigger arm, right? And so on and so forth. But Cooper Rush, in between the ears, we know, because the thing about Cooper Rush is, and I've said this way before we got to this kind of content about the backup quarterback, like last year or year before, he'll be a coach in this league at some point. That's kind of the arc I see for him, is where he is. And I said it as we were doing it. Oh, you remember this? And we were talking about the quarterback position. He does not have a quarterback arm. Fair. He doesn't have it. But within the construct of how the Cowboys do things, he understands the offense and he can deliver the ball decently enough. You can game plan a game or two with him and win. And we saw that last year. And so for me, I think Greer has to really jump up the board. And Ultra, actually, I think Garrett had a better arm than Rush. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, I think Garrett's arm was stronger. Princeton in the house has a better arm.
They're similar.
Than
They all
Cooper
similar.
Rush. You know
I
what
think
I mean?
another point too is probably worth bringing up. You guys may have brought it up on the space. I apologize.
Sure.
if you did, but
No. Walk through the door.
It's probably worth mentioning, although I think Rush definitely has the leg up as of right now. Greer's athleticism is a lot more similar to Dak than
It's true.
Cooper Rush. So if you don't want to have to change too much of your offense because you're starting quarterbacks out, Greer will allow you to do more things that Dak can do, not at the same level, but more things that Dak can do than what a Cooper Rush is, where you're going to completely change the amount of bootlegs and some of the play action rollouts and things like that. So there is something to be said about that too.
That's true. So yeah, I mean, it's, to me, it's one of the undercurrent things that I'm watching at camp. Not the big time, but definitely I'm watching. But for it's when you kind of brought up on the space of the idea, let's see where the cuts are. Maybe they add somebody. I'll say it this way, and I'll ask y'all. I don't think the Cowboys are adding anybody at the quarterback position on the cut deadline. I think literally they're going to ride with Rush or they're going to ride with Greer. I think that's where they are. I'll pivot. Space. Do you think that's where they are? Or do you think they'll add somebody?
Oh no, that's where they're at. They usually don't do anything more than that. It's just going to be between those two.
Spoonie, I'm not going to ask you because I know you're ready to add somebody, so you already said it. Do you think it's Rush or Greer, or they would add somebody?
I think they'll add somebody, but nobody that's pushing for a roster spot. Like we saw it last year. What was the quarterback's name? Was it Christian Taryn or Taryn Christian or something like that?
Right.
Like we usually bring in somebody just to try to take some of the reps away to have at training camp. I don't think they're going to bring any viable option to be a backup though.
Yeah, I got Ultra came in and said, "You guys are making me miss Cedric Wilson. He was the best backup quarterback. He was actually the number. He was a number 2 quarterback in the NFC East last year. We already know. You already know. But forget about adding. I'm saying a guy that's going to solidify and be the backup. Oh, they signed this guy. Whoever the backup they chose is out the door. Right? Not happening.
I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think so.
Okay.
I just don't. Like, I think it's Cooper Rush's job. I mean, they trust him. They feel comfortable with him.
You're out. Do you think there's not a... Well, hold on. Let me press. So you don't think Greer has an opportunity to win the job then?
He has an opportunity. I don't think he has a good chance to. I think Cooper Rush would have to just be abysmal in training camp or preseason to not have that job. I think he's borderline locked.
Gucci fucking Danucci.
That is fair enough.
He's the more athletic one, though.
And a guy, Angry Peacock, says, it'll be Rush, no question. He and his wife vacation with Dak and his girl. Okay. Fair enough. Low key, I'll ask this question in a different way. Do you think, honestly, raise your hand or comment, do you really think like the backup quarterback position, if Dak was to miss, let's say 7 games, would really matter? Is there a guy that they could go get that would really matter if this team missed Dak for 7 games, Spoonie?
No.
No. Okay.
You asking a guy that can get
backup quarterback, right? Because you talked about, and I'm asking because you said wait for the cuts. Let's see if they can add somebody. Not Rush, not Greer. Is there a guy that you think that is available or can become available if Dak was to miss 7 games? You think we would be okay?
Yeah. Geno Smith from Seattle. I like Eason, where P.O. said that's a very, very good pick right there too as well. You never know about Drew Lock, especially if they make the trade for Baker. With the Browns, you got Bissett over there. You see what happens over there. And Colt McCoy. The Cardinals like Tracy McSorley a lot. And Colt McCoy is 34, 35. So any quarterback that has started experience for a number of games is what we can bring in if Dak was to miss 7 games. And I think with the guys we have around those around the guys we're gonna have around those quarterbacks, we could definitely win them 7 games with those type of guys.
All right, Space. Dak's out 7 games. There's something they can do at the backup quarterback position that makes you comfortable.
I mean, you could trade for someone. I mean, you could go after, a Geno Smith, as mentioned, or someone else. But if I'm just going to keep it a buck with you, if Dak's out 7 games, and depending on what the team's record is, I'm just going to be like, F it, just tank. Because if it's like, okay, he gets hurt and the team's like 4-0 or something like that, okay, maybe you make a play. But if it's like the team's shitty or has a bad record, I'm not going to bother trying. I'm going to try and get a good draft pick. But that's just my personal fundamental opinion.
Right. Professor O, same question.
I think Space is right on. Like it would be situational depending on where we're at record wise. Like let's say that Dallas is 8-3 or something. So you're making a playoff push. Dak is going to return. You just need somebody who can win you 3 or 4 games to solidify your playoff spot. You're not going to be able to draft to trade at that point in the season. So it would have to be somebody off the street. So no, I don't think anybody out there is going to come in and make our team good enough to do it. If he got hurt early in the year, I also don't think we're going to be inclined to swing a draft pick for like a Sam Darnold or Jimmy Garoppolo, since he was mentioned in the chat. I just don't see us spending draft capital to go after somebody like that because I don't think they do enough to move the needle to salvage our season, except for maybe Jimmy G, arguably, but the cost cap-wise is just going to take him out of the equation. So, no, to answer your question, I don't think there's anybody we would sign or trade for if Dak misses a substantial amount of time that would matter at all.
10-4. I love this right here. Dak gets injured. I'm watching every game super drunk. Yes.
I don't blame you, honestly.
Yes, I agree. Yes, I'm right. I'm right there. Yeah. I mean, I think everybody's there. Is there some other way to watch a game? Haley, salute. Big facts. And our guy Cowboys says, in the 5 games Cooper Rush played in 21, his quarterback rating was better than Dak's quarterback rating in 21. I mean,
there's a thing called volume.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. I mean, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. And also, our guy Tyron in the bill says Ryan Fitzpatrick could come out of retirement and help if needed a few wins. And look, again, you gotta get him out of retirement and see at 39, right? You know, and we kind of talked about that on the space as well. With that being said, y'all know what it is. It is Freestyle Friday. We want to interact with y'all heavy in the comment section, but we also have, if you're on YouTube, it's pinned at the top. It's pinned at the top, the link. You come on through. And I got Montana, friend of the show. I got Montana in the building. Montana, how we doing tonight?
We doing good tonight, man. How everybody doing tonight?
Well, first and foremost, are you working or are you off? I know how you do.
I'm off today. I just got off not too long ago.
Hey, 10-4. So with that being said, if Dak misses 7 games, is it time to make a move? Or are you good with Rush or Greer?
I can see Rush. I mean, if Dak missed 7 games, I can see Cooper Rush winning 4 games.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I believe in him.
Because
I mean, he, like I said before, he knows the offense. And, you know, they're not going to tell him to go out there and play, you know what I'm saying, Dak Prescott football. Nah. Go out there and manage the game, you know what I'm saying, give Zeke the ball, find your wide receivers the best way you can. If you got the big play, take the big play. But if you don't, you know what I'm saying, overshoot it. So, yeah, I think he can win about 4 games.
Nah, 10-4. I mean, look, and again, I mean, Rush had to play 1 game last year. He won the game on the road, Minnesota.
Yeah, in prime time.
In epic fashion, if you will. So yeah, it's intriguing. Now, for me personally, and I'm gonna ask y'all this because I want to, as we're bringing it up and we're talking about it. For me, I don't care who the backup is. I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all. I don't care who the backup is, and honestly, I think around the league in general, it doesn't matter if your guy is gonna be out, you know, 7+ games. I think it's a wrap anyway. It's just kind of where I'm at when it comes to this league, right? So, yeah, I would love to have, you know, the greatest backup quarterback ever. I mean, again, look. There was people in Cowboys Nation. Let's just be honest and keep it a buck, right? That thought Cooper Rush would be better than Dak anyways, full tilt. And we saw how that played out.
No,
right?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
We saw that play out. And we watched Andy Dalton go up to Chicago and whatever and all these different things and so on and so forth. You know, and maybe there's some cherry plums dancing in your head whenever John Kitna was here. You know, we had to win a game. Kyle Orton couldn't do it. I mean, I can go down the list.
Matt Cassie.
It doesn't matter.
Right. After the salary cap and what we saw previous to the salary cap. And again, that's why I'm just like, man, the backup quarterback. Look, I wanna get one. Grab that beer. Go ahead and grab that beer, sir. Go right ahead and grab that beer. My guy said I gotta grab that beer. But again, big picture, if Dak's missing a ton of games, it won't matter. I don't care who you go get. So for me, we've had this talk and the backups and working and all this shit and whatever, excuse my language, but it's Freestyle Friday. I can cuss a little bit. I'm like, what are we talking about? I mean, space. If Dak's out for 7 games, who gives it?
Listen,
cares?
you don't have a plan for fucked. You don't have a plan for fucked. So, as much as that sounds ridiculous, it's true. I mean, like, I'm going to tell you this right the fuck now. If this year we have a situation where Dak gets hurt in, like, week 4 and he's out for the season, fuck it, put Ben DiNucci in or put some shitty quarterback in, and let's just get as good of a draft pick as possible. That's just how you had to play the game. And some people are like, oh, no, you got to try and win. No. Your season's lost at that point.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't.
You know, this kind of conversation is very scary, man. It's too scary, man. Let me tell you this: if this happened, it's like we're all gonna debate which way the organization is gonna run when it comes to quarterback X, Y, and Z. They have to. Mike McCarthy been through this already in Green Bay. When Rodgers went down, Brett Hundley was the quarterback. He grabbed out of UCLA, and you know he played 2 games, and those 2 games he wasn't that good. And what happened? Nah, listen, we got to force Aaron Rodgers back in with a mess up toe or mess up calf or whatever it was. It's end of the day. If you want to get better in your roster, why do you keep messing with the backup quarterback position? Let's be honest. And on top of that, let's all factor this in: the offensive line.
Right.
See, we okay with Dak as a starter with this offensive line. Imagine Cooper Rush with this offensive line. You think his mobility is going to see Ben DiNucci? Hate to say this, but with that offensive line, I'm just keeping it real. With that offensive line, his mobility is good for this, but he's not the better quarterback.
Oh Lord!
So if anything,
Spoony went there. Spoony went there.
He did.
I'm playing for Ben DiNucci to really beat both of them out because that offensive line. Let's be honest. We don't know what is it going to be. I don't care what PFF said. These guys have not played. I'm talking about Tyler Smith, number 73, and I'm talking about the center. Who's our starting center? I know Biadasz was on NFL Network. That doesn't mean he's going to be the starter right there. And we got Steele, the unsung hero who is not re-signed for to be here a long time. We don't know, but we keep hearing Josh Ball maybe in competition with it for that spot. So again, when it comes to backup, we want an experienced guy here who understands.
Cooper Rush is experienced, Spoony.
No, he's experienced because he's on this team that long.
He played a game and won one. He's experienced.
I don't trust him.
Will Greer's experienced. Spoony, you said he's experienced.
Wait, that's true. Here's a kicker. Let's be honest.
We need to clip that audio, by the way, because we have Spoony, Reverend Spoony, who does the Spoony sermons, and on this last clip, he just said, I pray for Ben DiNucci. So we need to clip that together.
Oh shit!
Make sure y'all clip that. Make sure y'all clip that.
Listen. Let's be honest. During that Minnesota game, okay, between all of us in this panel over here and everybody on the side watching, let's be honest. We went and we Googled good luck charm stuff. We had onions. We had Lucky Charms. We had horseshoes. We wore Lucky Socks or Lucky Drawers. We was all watching Sunday Night Football like this, shaking. Every time Cooper threw that ball, we like, my God. He didn't want to stop anything with that noodle arm. Let's be honest.
Oh, my God.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, this is.
He won those spoons. Won though. He walked through the door.
Listen, that fucker could have thrown 5 interceptions. If we won the game, no one would give a fuck.
Listen, we won the game ugly, but we won the game. We was happy.
Yeah.
Hold on. Right.
But that came right back the next week. Yeah. And he wasn't 100%. This is what I'm saying. If we went back away, he did a good job. Another game, rest. But we're going to pivot. We got some questions in the comment section, and of course on YouTube. There's the link if you want to come on and talk with us as well. It's right there. The question from our guy Mike Van Horn, who is actually over in the space. Appreciate you coming over this way. Says, so does Jerry finally allow Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor this year? Montana.
No.
Okay. Simple no. Professor O.
No.
Okay. Spoony. No? All right, Space.
No.
You're all wrong. It's definitely happening this year. I'm going to tell you why.
No.
I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because he literally did the long soliloquy of, it doesn't happen until I think about it, a week or two, blah, 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 blah. I'm buying on he was selling snake oil. I'm buying that he's going to make it happen this year because of what he said about that earlier. So yes, I think it does happen this year. What week? No, don't judge me. I don't know, but I do think because of how he talks about it and what happened, I think it does happen this year because of how he portrayed.
And usually, and I'll give you this though, is that Jerry doesn't usually give you like the precursor of, oh, I'm going to put this guy in. Like, oh, Gil Brandt was random. Like same thing with Darren Woodson. Like, we didn't know these guys were going in until like literally last minute.
Space, we talked about this. I don't remember if it was last Friday or the Friday before. And we mentioned if it happens this year, there's one game that you can go ahead and pre-circle in pencil, not in pen, but it's that New York Giants Thanksgiving game. You have a national stage, all of the spotlight and attention. If you're ever going to do it against a divisional rival, like that's the game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, easily. I mean, I think that he kind of got, I mean, me personally, I think Terry Bradshaw did us a favor and, questioning why he wasn't in the Ring of Honor. So if he gets in this year, thank you, Terry Bradshaw, for getting on his ass. But we'll see.
Spoonie added a second game, by the way. I just want to throw it out there because it's probably worth mentioning. The Christmas Eve game against the Eagles. Again, same concept and rationale behind the Giants game on why that makes sense. But either one of those two, I could see that happening.
Right. So basically, Jerry would do it on whatever game, like week 3 or 4, that we're playing at noon. Got it. But again, I really do. I think how he laid it out and talks about it and kind of laid the tracks. I think it happens this year. Here's what I believe when it comes to Jerry. Whatever's happened underneath the bridge, different things. I do think he wants to make it happen before he gets up out of here. I don't think he's going to leave that on his kids. And I think the pressure is right now, right here, right now. It'll happen. I like the Thanksgiving. We'll see. But again, I think it's going to happen in general. As everybody says, no, I think it does. I think Jerry is very much of the mindset of, I'm not giving you ish until I'm ready. And they try to press him on it, and he kind of fell back and gave his answer because he doesn't want to let it be perceived that he's doing it because of the pressure from the questioning or whatever the case may be. And look, I don't think we'll know until probably a week before that game. That's true Jerry fashion. He'll probably work the back channels, but yes, I do think Jimmy Johnson gets into the Ring of Honor, and maybe that's even more so of a what's the problem? More so of my guy Sim's in the building. I got you, Sim, on the back end. Sorry, I didn't see you down there. But more so, the way he's going to do that matters a ton because he threw me off. But with that being said, my guy Sam's in the building. He threw me off for a second because I saw the props. Just like, wait, I mean, my guy got his beer already. What are we doing? My guy Sam's in the building. What's going on, Sam?
Hey, what's going on? I would.
What's up, Sam?
Hey, Professor O, nice to talk to you finally.
You too.
Yeah, no, I would put the video on, but I already showered for sleep, so.
You're good. We don't want to see all that. We don't want to see all that. You're good.
I appreciate that too. You don't have to shower to join our show, by the way. If you're watching, we don't care. Just join in, do a video, whatever. My bad. Go ahead, Sam.
You never know when Mary's friends will come through, so you got to be fresh and clean, you know?
Oh, there it is. Real quick, I remembered. Jimmy getting in, by the way. Jimmy getting in. Is the terminology kills maybe the curse more so than the rowdy curse.
Nope.
I'm just saying, I'm buying the Jimmy curse more than the rowdy curse personally.
No, it doesn't.
Would y'all be pissed? Would y'all be pissed if they do it in the preseason?
No, look, I want him in there. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of shitty. I'm with you, but just get him up there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Rowdy
Yeah.
doesn't. I'm telling you now, the Rowdy curse does not trump the Jimmy Johnson curse.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I bet I'm not really. I try not to be super superstitious, but I would laugh my ass off if the minute that Jimmy Johnson goes into the Ring of Honor, that's the same year the Cowboys go all the way. What kind of shit would that be? Just like.
I would laugh my ass off if it happened with Rowdy because this is the most outlandish idea ever that I'm pitching out there that people are buying into.
I'm gonna give you a quick story, quick scenario. So during the week, we find out breaking news: Jimmy Johnson will be inducted.
I love this percentage.
Right?
Oh my God, Bruce.
He'll be inducted to the Ring of Honor. So this is during Thanksgiving. This Thursday, right? On Thanksgiving. We all at the game. Everybody here, we all at the game. We see the field. We see Michael Irvin. We see Moose Johnston. We see
I won't be there, Smoke.
That Jimmy Johnson was around Jimmy for the Super Bowls, right? We had all that going on. It's halftime. Jimmy's about to get in there, right? Now we see Rowdy walking. P.O. looks at him and goes, "Oh, hell no." Goes on the field. Gets Rowdy escorted out the building. Pick six is down on the field with P.O. Now, it's getting better now, y'all. So as we on the field, okay, they're announcing Jimmy Johnson, him and Jerry going back and forth, how much they love each other, you know, all the beautiful things. And next one, see the violin music in the background, right? And then this is what happens now. Jimmy Johnson makes a speech about what it is to be Dallas Cowboy. What it is to wear that star on his helmet, right? So what happens is now, as the Cowboy players, the current ones, get on the field, you're going to have the 90s Cowboy players who were with Jimmy Johnson get in their faces and explain to them, what kind of star are you wearing? Are you wearing a regular Boo-Boo star or the Doomsday star? Are you wearing that star with him to be a Dallas Cowboy? Then what happens is, after we all get hyped up, we all go to the middle of the star, jump up each other's faces, get rowdy, get crazy.
Don't say get rowdy. Use a different word.
41-3.
Yeah, so just to be clear, I won't be there. But I won't be there. I'll be watching, but I won't be there. Thanksgiving, I won't be there.
And then Stephen Jones walks in, and then he ruins the whole thing. He's like, he punches Jerry. He's like, "Nope, we're not putting him in there." At the end of the day, there's only so much pie to go around. There's only so much room on that Ring of Honor.
but real quick, the pivot back here. Our guy my guy Samuel's in the building. Samuel, how we doing on this Friday, brother?
Are you guys doing fantastic?
Word.
How am I doing, or how you guys doing?
No, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Good. I was actually just thinking, if I was Jimmy Johnson at this point, I'm not sure if I would even, not that I wouldn't want to be the Ring of Honor, but I wouldn't be sweating it. You know what I mean? Like, he got his gold jacket. Jerry's obviously being kind of petty about it. Like, at a certain point, I was just like, okay, if you do it, you do it. If you don't, you don't. Like, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Right. I think it matters to Jimmy, though. I just do. I do think it matters to Jimmy. I'll be honest with you. I think at a certain point in life, right, in general, for everybody in the building, on the panel, in the chat, at a certain point, you do want a little bit of the recognition of something that you've done in life. And I do think when it comes to Jimmy, he's gotten recognition like NFL. Boom, it's there, right? College, boom, is there. You know, and even whenever he was going to the Hall of Fame, right? There was at the Hall of Fame game and everything. Whenever Jerry's like, "Oh, we're going to put him in the Ring of Honor," and Jimmy laughed and looked at him, was like, "Before I die." And I think that's, but it's funny. It's tongue in cheek funny. I agree, but I think to a certain extent, I think he meant it. I really do. I really think he wants to do that because as we were there, right, for the Gold Jackets, right, the Philly game, Jimmy came out there and he gave a speech at halftime, a phenomenal speech, right, Spoonie?
Everybody went crazy. everybody went crazy. The fans went nuts. What it is that there's whatever Jimmy and Jerry have, they have to come together and talk about it and put it into it. The problem is that Jerry wants all the recognition. He wants to prove that they won them championship because of him. It's 50-50. Jimmy had the view, you had the cast. You guys went heavy. Jerry Jones, when he had the vision. When he came in and he signed Charles Haley. At the time when they traded for Charles Haley, the 49ers didn't want him, right? That was a Jerry move, but it doesn't mean that y'all won because of you, Jerry. It's a team effort, and that's the problem. And once Jimmy went over to Miami, he wanted to prove I could win, more a Super Bowl without, which he did. But we all know that was still Jimmy's team. It's issues between them of what's the reason why the Cowboys were winning, and both of them had it's because of both of them. And that's the reason where we are right now. It's a shame. It's a shame because, and I'll say this: if Jimmy Johnson is a Hall of Fame X, Y, and Z, I mean, he has to be in the Ring of Honor. Why is it other players you put in there before Jimmy?
He put his whole team in it.
Yeah, it's incredible. So that's why I'm not liking the issue on what's going on. And I know DJ a couple of weeks ago, he put a question saying if God forbid if Jerry was to go or Jimmy was to go first, pass on, will we accept Jimmy then getting to the Ring of Honor? I'm like, no, it's done.
Right.
It doesn't mean much. It means more what both of them are there right now.
Somebody's got some loud ass racing or whatever going in the background. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
But neither here nor there. And I'll put the bow on it. At the tail end of what we're talking about when it comes to the Ring of Honor with Jimmy, Jerry, and all in the antithesis of our 2022 and where we are, it should happen, and it should happen while they're both alive. And obviously, we know Jerry's in his 80s. Obviously, Jimmy's in his late 70s. Like, this is something for Cowboys Nation, and not only Cowboys Nation, but for them. Like, make it happen. And again, this is why, unlike everybody else on the panel says no, I think it will happen this year.
Hopefully.
And we'll wait and see. Wing bet? I'll take a wing bet. Anybody want to take a wing bet?
No, because you got like 7-1 on wing bets.
Yeah, I got
Smokey, you want to take a wing? You want to take a wing bet on Jimmy? I don't.
There's also there's some merit to what you're saying too, though, Nix, because last year if Jerry did it, it would have been. Well, he only did it because of what happened where he was called out. This year, It's his idea if he does it because he answered that vaguely, saying, I don't really know ahead of time. It's just kind of a spur of the moment type of decision. Now, if he does it, it's like, hey, I did it because I want him to be in.
Right.
I want to make amends. I want this to be a big thing. Versus I'm doing it because I have public backlash because of Terry Bradshaw asking that question. So that's a good point, Nix.
And look, and I think at the very tail end of all of this, take us as fans out of it. It's just what's right. Like these two guys, and going all the way back to college. Forget what they did in the Cowboys space. These guys known each other since college and winning a national championship in Arkansas, and what they've been throughout life. It just matters on a different plane. And sometimes you got to put all the petty stuff aside and do what's right. And I think that's going to happen, especially where the ages are at. And we'll see what happens. But we'll pivot. It is Freestyle Friday. Our guy Sam just joined up here. Our guy Montana's in the building. The link is tied. It's pinned, if you will, to the top of YouTube. Come up here. Look, video or not, Space was on video and he left. I don't know what's going on with Space. But neither here nor there.
Bear with me.
Up here
I'm taking some medicine. Bear with me. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. But my guy Slim Pickens, great question, man, says, what about the wide receiver room? He says, I think that's going to be the biggest pro/con this year. Do you think Simi is going to step up? Let me start with our newest member to the panel, Sam. Sam, are you a buyer in Simi this year? Or are you a seller? What do you think?
I hate to say it because I'm rooting for him, but like if you give me that choice, I'm gonna sell on him. I mean, I would buy on James Washington and Tolbert. I think Tolbert's experience, even though he's coming from college, I think Washington, if you look at some of the advanced stats, like having a quarterback that can throw deep would be good for his good for his game. But on Simi, like I don't know, like he still wasn't like showing out in camp, so I'm not even sure if he's gonna make the team with Vasher at this point.
Okay, all right, Professor O, Simi gonna walk through the door for you or no?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't. Like he was I was with everybody last year. He was a guy when I watched his tape in college. I liked what I saw. Then I saw him in training camp, and I saw maybe the league was a little bit too big for him at the time, so maybe he needed some time to develop. We heard this offseason that he has been working on things, practicing with Dak, working out with wide receiver coaches, doing everything that you should do in your second year in the NFL to progress your game and take it to the next level. We did hear some early rumblings that he was getting more separation in camp, but he wasn't completing the plays. He had a ball bounce off his hands that became an interception. He did a double move on Anthony Brown, had 2 steps on him, and dropped the ball in the end zone. So he's just not there yet. Am I completely giving up on him? No. But I don't think he adds anything at all to the offense this year. I don't know that he'll even make the team. But if he does, I don't see him being an impact player. So I'm definitely not buying him.
Can he be the reverse Deshaun Wright? Right? Because minicamp OTA, he was everything. Then we kind of got to camp last year and indifferent. Could it be like what he did? He didn't complete, as you said. Oh, facts. He was getting open, but he wasn't completing. Can he turn that around in camp, or do you think it's just kind of a lost cause?
I don't think it's a lost cause yet, but I don't know that he's going to turn it around in camp. And I think one of the things that's going to be going against him is we're going to get Washington back. He's going to be ready for camp. So I don't know how many reps Simi's really going to get with the better quarterback. He's going to get sprinkled in here and there.
Don't you bring it back to don't you bring it back to backup quarterback. We're not doing that.
I'm not trying to. But we saw it I'm just bringing that up specifically because we saw that in preseason where we were all, I don't know about everybody in the chat, but I know all of us on the panel were saying, we don't even know what Simi can do because the backup quarterback play was so bad in preseason, they couldn't even complete passes. The offense was broken because of how bad the quarterback play was with DiNucci and Cooper Rush and the whole thing. So
Will Greer,
I just don't know that he's going to get enough reps with guys to be able to stand out. So he's going to have to do it at practice at camp. So is it possible? Yes. Is it a lost cause? Not there yet, but it's trending that way.
I got you. Smacked Space and Spoonie. Real quick, is anybody buying into Simi? Does he walk through the door or nah? Y'all think it's a lost cause?
I'm buying him.
You're buying? You're buying Simi walking through the door?
Yeah, I'm buying it. I'm buying he's gonna get a spot.
Okay.
I mean, you have to look at it. He has the speed. He has the size.
They got a type in Dallas. I'm feeling you.
Yeah, and the whole thing is, him working out with Jack. I know the mini camp. It's could it be better? Of course, but Pio made a great point. If we had a better backup quarterback, you could see more. We will only see his potential when Dak's throwing the ball. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but that's the truth. But the thing is, he has a size, he has speed, he has everything you want in a receiver. Can he finish? I think you look over what he didn't do right in minicamp, from the training camp this July, and definitely go to work, have another shot at it, especially in the preseason game. That's going to count more. I like Simi's size and speed and what he has and he can put to the table. It's just pretty much going all in. But I think he'll have a great chance of doing it. I think he'll win it.
Real quick question for you, Spoonie. You don't have to elaborate unless you want to. You said you think he will make it, so who's he making it over? You can give a reason or not. Just curious. Who you think
I got you. I think Noah Brown. I think over Noah Brown. It's been a lot of Vasher and Simi against each other, and people are leaving out Noah Brown. I think Simi and Vasher can make it over Noah Brown.
Facts.
Okay. All right. Montana or Space, Simi. Y'all walk through the door, Simi, or
No. For me, it's because when you look at that wide receiver room, right? It really depends. So, like, it's like how many receivers do you think the Cowboys are going to hold? 5 or 6? So you got CeeDee, got Michael Gallup, got the rookie Jalen Tolbert, and you got your not recent, but your free agent signing in James Washington. You're already up to 4. Now you got Noah Brown, Simi Fehoko, and TJ Vasher, and the other guy, Brandon Smith, to kind of pick from. However, the only way that I see Simi Fehoko or hell even some of these other guys making it is if Noah Brown has a bad camp or like he's just not good. But I think he'll make the team, or if he gets hurt or something like that. That's just where I feel on it.
All right, Montana, go ahead.
Me, I don't think he makes the team, to be honest, which I think they're going to stash him again on the practice squad this year because of the simple fact of the matter is
they can't do that. You're right.
They're going to carry 6 because, Gallup is still injured, But, and then also they got to figure out who's the kick returner, too, because, it's other wide receivers like me. I watched
your punt return. No. Kick returners. No,
kick return. The kick return
is Pollard. Punt returners told. They already told us that.
But see, that's the thing. I would rather, and I was looking at his tape earlier. Dennis, I think his name Dennis Houston. I think that's his name. He's 6'2", but the kid got speed and he got good footwork. And it's with these rookie wide receivers that's on the roster right now, they hungry. Right. So Simi gonna have to bring it in training camp and preseason. And if he don't, one of these rookies behind him. Or you know what I'm saying? Because me, I'm not even gonna count TJ Vasher because I feel like TJ gonna make the team. When you said who is the Nation Wright on the wide receiver, that's my Nation Wright right there is TJ Vasher. I feel like TJ gonna make the team because of his size and his height, and we need somebody in the red zone with that type of size right there to get them touchdowns.
Hey, okay, I like it. Let's get to our guy Bruce, and he does have the toxic juice. Says, what worries y'all more, wide receiver or linebacker depth? Professor O?
Yeah, I won't even elaborate that long in this one. For me, it's linebacker by a huge margin. There's plenty of guys in the receiving corps, especially your guys between, I don't think there's a huge difference between wide receiver 4 and wide receiver 8 that we're talking about. They can be productive enough to make things happen on our offense. If we have linebacker 4 playing significant snaps, I'm terrified. I don't feel good about a linebacker room whatsoever. I'm not even confident in our top 3 linebackers. I'm confident in Micah Parsons, and that's it. We have Jabril Cox that we're excited about, but we haven't seen. He's coming off of an injury. We have LVE that we don't feel confident about. So I feel confident with literally 1 linebacker. I feel confident with at least 4 wide receivers, if not 5 or 6, that I'm we can live with those guys. So, yeah. I would say linebackers, depending on your definition, because if we're throwing in guys like Marquise Bell or Jaron Kearse in the mix, then maybe that changes things. But true linebacker depth, I'm terrified there.
Yeah, I'm right there. I think linebacker's the least depth position that we have. Back to your point there, look, man. And of course we talked about this on the space before we got on, Spoonie, about LVE, and we had a little diatribe space, right, about LVE and whatever was going on the Twitter space before we got over here. Hey, man, let's keep it a buck. Let's do that. I buy more of the number 2 wide receiver on the Cowboys than the number 2 linebacker of the Cowboys, and it's a problem. Now, with that being said, sure, I want Jabril Cox to walk through the door, and we got to wait and see what happens with him. I agree there. However, he didn't get a lot of burns last year before he got hurt, and we got to see what he's going to be this year. LVE, if you block it up right, sure, he can be good. But look, let's say that's our top 3. Those guys. Who's next?
Lou Gelford?
Story Jackson. Those are the type of guys we're talking about, right?
I'm not is it? Maybe.
It's a lot of linebackers sitting out there right now that you could bring in and try out right now, and it's just they not moving. It's y'all got all this STEMI money from Lyle Collins, and y'all just not trying to go out and bring nobody.
Right, we're not in Donner Tree.
You have to remember this. The Cowboys could take $22.5 million and roll that over to next year?
Oh,
How much
really?
cap space they have right now?
But hey, you know, at the end of the day, there's only so much pie to go around. You know.
There it is, space. There
Yeah.
it is, space. There it is, space. Sam, on the back end, for you, wide receiver, linebacker depth. What are you more worried about?
Wide receiver, actually.
Okay,
Ooh.
walk it
Because
out.
of positional value.
Okay,
Like, if Lamb goes down, I think it's a wrap. Like, I mean, I'm excited about Tolbert and James Washington, but they're unproven. I think, like, if you know, God forbid, I don't even want to say it, but like, if something happened where Parsons had to, you know, miss extended time for whatever reason,
no, if he goes down like you said about Lamb, just let's keep the same lineage.
Yeah.
He goes down like Lamb.
then like, at least you have like curse, you have like ways to kind of like hide the
Oh,
deficiency.
you dug into the safeties. I see what you did. You're cheating, but I feel you. You cheated a little bit. Oh, but I got these safeties though. Okay, all right.
No,
go ahead.
but
Sam heard
I
me
think-
say it depends on how you define it because we
Yeah,
have
yeah. I got you, Sam. Go ahead,
Sam,
walk it out.
Michael Gallup though, like we're gonna have Gallup will be back at some point. So let's say that
Right.
CD misses 8 weeks or Parsons misses 8 weeks. At some point in the 8 weeks, most likely, we'll have Gallup. We're not gonna have anybody to come in as relief effort when Parsons is out, except for
I mean, we-
playing linebackers as hybrids, like you mentioned.
We got his twin brother. Now, y'all sleeping on his twin brother. Y'all sleeping on Micah's twin brother now. Sam
Oh.
Williams will take the job. Sorry,
That
no.
linebacker
Oh,
though.
get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Let my guy Sam walk through the door. Go ahead, Sam. Walk through that door.
Yeah, no, I think you actually, your points are good. Actually, I'm coming back a little bit with, because like I put Gallup out of my mind just because like he's not going to be here for like the first quarter of the season, but like depending on how it's sequenced, like if you know, because
Right.
Gallup kind of stepped up on Thanksgiving actually,
Right.
so like if you count Gallup, then it's a different story. But he has to come back relatively soon. We can't have him out for like half the season. So I think that's the key to that.
Yeah, my guy, I'm working right up here. It's my no one better says. To be fair, most teams don't have great depth at linebacker. I don't disagree with that. The problem is though, if you remove Micah Parsons, it's ass.
Yeah.
It's just ass. Let's be clear, better. It's ass. Ass a 9, ass a 10, ass 11, ass a 12. Bro, it's ass. It's super ass. After Parsons, look, and of course, we enjoy LV, and again, on the space prior to this, look, if you keep LVE clean, he can be productive. Period. Nobody, I wouldn't disagree with that construct that I just put out there. Maybe other people would, and that's kind of goes back to his college tape going into the draft. If he's clean, LV will make plays for you. He can't shed. He can't shed worth the shit. You can't. If he gets locked up, it's a wrap. And then if you get past LVE, I don't know who the hell y'all talking about. Who we talking about? Look, I hope Jabril Cox walks through. I hope Jabril Cox can walk through, and I'm excited about Jabril. But how much stock can you put in him right now?
Yeah.
I mean, when we talked about linebackers, and granted, this is my comment, not the chat or anybody else on the panel, but when we talked about linebackers outside of the top 3, the guys I mentioned were Luke Gifford, Story Jackson. I didn't mention Devin Harper, our draft pick. Like that's just what I don't know what he is, right? Like we'll have to see in training camp and let this thing evolve. Like things can change from July 1st through September 1st. So maybe it's a
He's had
different story.
1,000 yards receiving as a number 2, though. Better, and that's the point. Go ahead.
Yeah, but like when we mentioned in the comment saying, I don't think a lot of teams have linebacker depth, that's probably fair. I don't think we have starting linebackers aside from Micah Parsons right now. That's the difference. Like if you're talking about linebacker 4, 5, and 6 not having depth there, okay. I don't know that we have a number 2 or number 3.
You don't think LV is a starting linebacker in the league?
I don't know that he is at this point because of what we're seeing. That's what my level of confidence in him right now.
Okay.
I
just
agree.
being honest.
Let's go. Let's go. Oh.
And
Okay,
I'm not trying to be
Freestyle
like a hot
Friday.
take guy. I'm just looking at it and I'm like, you're telling me we have a linebacker who only makes plays if he's healthy, which he's not healthy often, and if he's covered up
He
by
was
the
healthy
defensive
last
line.
year. He was healthy last year.
Okay. And how many plays did he make last year? We had that good San Francisco game. Remember that one time out of 18 games?
He had the Washington game.
LVU give you a good
Okay, 2
game
games.
and maybe disappear for a couple. They didn't block it up right. They didn't.
I'm not saying he's not a guy that can't play as a starter. I just don't think he's he's not your future. Like, you don't have any plans on him sticking around after this year as a starting linebacker. And I don't know if I had to look at like the depth charts of the whole league.
Right.
I'm sure there's teams he could start for, but I don't think he's a guy that you're like excited or comfortable with him as a starter at this point. I just don't believe that.
I think here's the caveat to your point about LVE. They didn't pick up the 5th-year option, right? He's a free agent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody beat the door down for him, and they brought him back.
For a cheap deal, too.
Right, cheap deal. Kind of like the Mo Claiborne situation, right? So if he had those kind of things evolving, somebody would have paid him. Somebody paid Connor Williams. Somebody paid Cedric Wilson. Then we kind of go up and down the board there a little bit on some mid-tier players. Nobody reached out and cherry-picked LVE. So there's some symmetry behind what you're saying and what it means. But again, he's number 2 for us.
And our number 2 right now, if you ask most Cowboys fans, Damone Clark in 2023 or LVE in 2023, who's more likely to play? I think almost everybody would say the guy with the neck injury who hasn't played a snap in the NFL is more likely to be on the roster than LVE. And that's our number 2 linebacker.
Hey, hold on. Who's the better backup, Cooper Rush or LVE?
Cooper Rush. No, actually, it would be LVE.
Oh, yeah.
I'm being petty. I'm sorry. I was being petty. I was just being petty.
LVE got a Pro Bowl under his belt, y'all. Come on,
but this is why I said in the space when the same question, I said I think he could be treated like Jalen Smith, going to camp, have this competition. Let's see how Cox is, and then gets released or something. I'm with PO.
Ooh.
I'm watching right behind PO.
I think here's the thing. I think the thing for the Cowboys and linebacker side, and I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. I said it in the spaces. I don't think I've said it on the open mic video wise. Pay attention to Atlanta. If they remove Deion Jones, if they cut Deion Jones, I would be shocked or dismayed, if you will, if he's not wearing a star ASAP. I think that's the guy. I think Deion Jones is the guy that this team is looking at. If you look at what's happening over there, what they're trying to do, so on and so forth, his contract, they can't trade it, whatever the case may be. And I know, we've had conversations about his contract and how they should or should not move because of what it would mean to their cap. I know we've had that conversation, but it kind of seems like they're out. And sometimes teams will just F it and let's get over it. And again, they can't trade him because of his contract. So cutting him is the only way. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying if it does get to that point with them, I would say the Cowboys will be on line 1 and we move forward from there.
I'm 100% board on that.
Yeah, we'll sleep better at night.
And don't LVE got one of them type of contracts that you could just say, hey, walk him in the door. Hey, sorry, it didn't work out.
It's true. It's true, but I think I don't expect LVE to leave this team this year.
Okay.
I really don't. Even if they add Deion Jones, I don't think, because we're just like, we have to be clear about this, about the depth. It's not good. Deion Jones makes LVE a great depth piece. It's bad. Guys, who's after LVE? Somebody help me.
Nobody.
Help me out.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just laughing right now because I was trying to look up his contract. And you know Google asks questions for you. It says people also asked, is Leighton Vander Esch still a Cowboy? That's the number 1 most asked question. I'm not kidding you. Go on Google right now and type his name. That's the number 1 most asked question.
That's so funny.
Oh, man.
Not lying.
Come on, man. Look, my man wasn't injured. Look, I'm walking through the door on here with LVE. He gave us one good game and kind of disappeared and come back again. And he played really good in the playoff game. Fair. But he actually stayed healthy. I'm gonna give the Wolf Hunter that much credit. He was healthy. Come on now. I ain't going that far.
BJ, listen, I will eat crow if we can get the LVE that we had the first season.
2018?
Guy during the Eagles game with the interception, got us all hyped. But end of the day, like I said, he's not attractive. He hasn't been attractive. Is he a solid? If we get Deion Jones, do we release LV? Hell no, I'm not. His experience, more depth. We don't know about Damone Clark. Yeah, we don't know about Harper. Those are young guys. We don't know about Story Jackson. We still don't know about Gifford, just like P.O. said. But at the same time, yeah. So, my thing is that if you can get a Deion Jones, I'm going to sleep better with LVE did. LVE right now, like I said, is that one good game. And that's all we have now. If he get given the time, can he have a great year? Probably can. Listen, anybody got a great year. Yeah. But at the same time, he's not here long term. I'm with P.O. I don't think he might, depending on the other linebackers, how well they play, I'm not surprised if he's let go. The way Jalen Smith was let go. I'm not surprised. Depending on what they do.
Spoon, they got to do more right now.
No, they got to do more.
For the roster.
Yeah, they got to do more. What I'm saying, depending on the linebacker position, what they do, if they ask somebody or somebody is really playing, it catches their eye, I wouldn't be surprised. Like you said, he was out in the market. They're like this, waiting. You okay? You want to come back? All right, here. And that's what it was.
Because, like, when we released Jalen Smith in what week? Like, week 3, week 4?
Yeah, we always,
So it's like if we go into the season and, like, one of them, backup linebackers behind LVE plays better than him throughout the season, I mean, is it possible that he might get cut? Like?
Well, here's the thing, Montana. I'm glad you asked that. I'm going to go backwards a little bit. That year that Jalen got cut, I'm going to go to the preseason game, right?
Okay.
DJ brought it up. Showed the video, the clip of Jalen Smith on how he was moving around that linebacker. He was dragging his leg, right? He wasn't moving right, side to side. He put the video up. Everybody, he said, listen, I'm going to be real. I'm not surprised if he's not here. No, you crazy, X, Y, and Z. All of a sudden, when that week came, it was church. I was shocked. The teammates were shocked. But again, that teaches us right there, this coaching staff is not playing. If you don't like what they don't like what you're doing, you don't fit well, they're gonna replace you. Now again, his point, LVE was out in the market. They didn't think about signing him.
Hey, hold on. I got Bruce says Jalen Smith was playing better than LVE until the playoffs. That's cap. That's hella cap. That's hella cap.
Dude, Jalen Smith got cut, signed by the Packers, and then cut after a game.
They went to the Giants.
And went to the Giants
and didn't do shit.
I think he's a free agent.
He still is a free agent.
No. He's not a free agent. He signed on with the Giants. But again, the Packers literally played him 18 plays and got rid of him. It is what it is. Hold on for a second though. My guy Matt O is dropping some. I think he's dropping some knowledge on the back end, and I'm looking over here and I'm seeing this.
It's not knowledge.
It's a meme.
Oh my
God!
Let's see what it is.
Let's Google. Put the question. Oh, he's covered up. Damn it.
Is the invader still a cowboy? Listen, man, the man's down the
level
right
now. Be mad at Google. That's what Google wants.
Man, Google be a savage, bro. Holy shit.
My man got 2.5 sacks. Oh man.
Yeah,
it's cool though, man. Hey, I like him in the coverage game though. Like when we drafted him, I saw his size and I'm like, oh yeah, he's immediately checking tight ends. But I mean,
with LVE, like kind of bringing it back up. Not even. We'll take Deion Jones out of the equation.
Sure.
If you could, assuming the Cowboys will spend a small amount of money, doesn't have to be a lot. We'll say $4 million or whatever. Quan Alexander or LVE. Anthony Barr or LVE. Is there anybody who's taking LVE over those two guys? We probably won't bring them in, but just kicking the game while we're talking about it.
I might take LVE over Alexander because Alexander he can't stay healthy.
No, that's cap though because he's been healthy in New Orleans.
I'm
with you. He's had injury history. He has, but again, and the reason I'm saying that is because I've done research and I brought up Quan Alexander. Free agency. Like on the cusp of free agency, I'm like, yo, he's a big piece that could work here. Only because the history that he's had is cheap enough and he's been healthy now. But again,
I just can't imagine either one's going to cost at this point in free agency more than $4 million. So we'll just throw that as a number.
That's too much money.
Here's my. Oh, shut up.
Listen, I'm sorry. It's just there's only so much pie to go around. I can't help it.
I just look at this. I just look at this team in general, and I look at the linebacker position, and I'm just like, bruh, y'all need to do something. And of course, our draft pick in Clark on live stream, I was like, oh yeah. Layup drill, but it's great 5th round, great talent. Boom, boom, we'll see him next year. And Stephen Jones came and said, "Oh no, he's playing this year." I'm like, "The fuck?" That's where I was. Like, the fuck, he's playing this year.
And Stephen Jones also told us, "Don't worry about Neville Gallimore. He'll be back by week 3. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
I don't trust any injury label we give timeline wise.
Right. But he's going to be back before half the season's over. I'm like, okay, whatever. What are you going to do the first half? This linebacking core is poultry. The depth is man, it is bar none. It is poverty. Our linebacker depth is poverty. Because look, let's say LVE is the top tier LVE, right? Right. Let's go back in time. Let's all jump in our time machine. And LVE is going to be top tier LVE, and then you have Parsons. Outside of that, you got shit.
Yeah, you're right. Listen,
you got ass.
Yeah,
bro, you got ass.
Yeah, you're right. Listen, I like the potential with Damone Clark and Cox. That's the future. In the future with Parsons, that's going to be great. I can't wait for that. But right now, they have no experience, and that's why it's bad. It's
kind of bringing it back full circle to the question too.
Sure.
So we're talking about Damone Clark and Jabril Cox and saying we're excited about their potential, but we don't know who they are.
Right.
Going back to the wide receiver room, which is the original question, we know who CeeDee Lamb is, and we know who Michael Gallup is, and we have a pretty good idea of what James Washington is. The rest of it we don't know. So we have more to know or more to feel comfortable about with wide receiver than linebackers. So I think it's a pretty easy
100%.
answer.
Right,
there.
and our guy White says we're going to be fine, and we could be. And again, we're talking about right now here on July 1st on Central Time. Eastern Time is July 2nd. Shout out to producer Jay. Her birthday's tomorrow. Can't wait for it.
It's tomorrow here already. It's already tomorrow.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's birthday for her right now. The big 2-4. And again, I do agree we are going to be fine. I'll buy into this. Look, those guys had the opportunity through training camp to walk through the door. I don't disagree with that. However, from the outset of what we're going into, man, this shit is struggle face at best. And that's my antithesis on that. With that being said, Sam, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I think you guys pretty much summed it up. I was actually, it's midnight, so I think midnight where I'm at. So I'm gonna get some sleep. But
hold on. Our guy Slim Pickens says hot take. I think we're a much better team now than we were last year. Sam, before you leave, are you buying or selling the hot take from our guy Slim?
So that I'm selling. Like, I think we'll do good, but like,
are we better than last year?
No, like, we're not better. Like, okay. I think the one thing we can't, like, I heard some interesting things about like Fowler and Gregory. You can maybe I can get you there. I can get there on that one. Mm-hmm. And then, like, I don't think Leo's better. I mean, I don't think Terrence Hill's better than Leo, but I can, for the sake of argument, like, I can kind of see that one maybe. But we lost Coop, and that's something we haven't replaced. And like everyone else has draft picks too. It's not like we're the only team that has draft picks. So, like, at a certain point, like, we, like, our ability to make up for that loss, like all the losses, has to impact us. Now, I don't think, like, if we go from number 1 to number 5, okay, fine. We were number 1 offense, so I don't think it's like insurmountable. But I think it would be foolish to not acknowledge that, like, we take a step back in some areas.
All right, 10-4. Appreciate you coming through. As always, Sam.
Thank you. It was nice. It was nice talking with you guys.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, absolutely.
No
bro.
problem.
Sam and I've chatted in like a million YouTube chats, but first time I've actually had a chance to, have a conversation with you. So nice to meet you.
Sam be holding down the chat box.
That part. Look, I want to go around the table here a little bit. Smack Montana. Much better team now than we were last year. Yes or no? You buying or selling?
I'm selling.
Okay.
Because we got a lot of question marks. We don't know who's on the O line. We got problems at the linebacker position. Like our wide receiver core is for real not healthy. Now they not 100%. So it's like we don't know who's actually in rotation for real. Like it's just a lot of questions going into the season. But I mean, I still got us going 12-5, but
okay.
All
right, fair enough. Space. Are you buying or selling? Better than last year?
Selling. This team is not. It's not much better. I think that with how you see how the Cowboys have positioned their team, it looks like that they're trying to see how this year goes and then try to do something in 23. But that's not saying much. You know what I mean? But I think that when we're looking at how this team's constructed compared to last year, last year the Cowboys brought in a ton of people compared to what they did last year. So you kind of were like, okay, they're bringing in some of these guys like a Jaron Curse and, other names. Not saying you have to get a plethora of guys to make me happy. It's just this year it feels like they're content with the roster, even though the roster itself hasn't gotten better. And that's including us before thinking, Mike is going to be that fantastic prospect or what Trevon Diggs did. This team, I think, is a 10-win team at best right now, and I think they maybe can win a playoff game if they're lucky, but I don't say anything more.
All right. Professor O, are you buying or selling? Better team than last year?
I'm selling. I think we'll still have a good record, but if you're looking at week 1 rosters, I just don't know how you can say the wide receiver trio last year heading into week 1. Obviously, there was injuries to Gallup, but we had Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. This year, we're going to have CeeDee Lamb, maybe James Washington or Jalen Tolbert. We're not really sure how that's going to pan out. And then fans are already writing off James Washington. We're pretty sure Gallup won't be there. So we're worse at wide receiver now, week 1, than we were last year. Our offensive line, our starting 5 is worse than what we had on paper last year, week 1. Defensive line, I do think we're better. I think we improved in the interior this year on the defensive line. I feel worse about our linebackers than I did last year. I feel better about our safeties. So at best, I would say a push, but I think if I'm being honest, I think we're slightly worse heading to the season. Does that mean we can't improve and be better and have a better season? No, because we have the worst record in the league. But I do think we'd be lying to ourselves if we didn't say the Giants improved this year, the Eagles improved this year, and Washington improved this year on paper. Will it reflect in the schedule? We'll have to see, but I don't see any way that you can make a valid argument that we're better now than we were last year in terms of roster depth heading into the season.
God damn it, Steve.
Spoony, are you buying or selling? Spoony, are you sure? I don't know. Spoony, are you buying or selling, Spoony?
Spoony is the yin to my yang. So if he's not buying, then it's I'm just saying.
Spoony, do you want me to go first before you? You need some more time?
I'm buying.
Ooh.
I'm gonna buy. I'm sorry to you. I'm going to the store. I'm buying. And I'm gonna say this.
No, I need you to buy so I can sell.
Spoony went to the bodega. Spoony's in Brooklyn. Spoony's going to end this. He went to the bodega. He's buying. Let's go.
Yes, it is. I'm buying. First of all, I want to put this in bed with the Cooper thing. Okay, that's a player that didn't fit the culture for this team. I put that out there right now. Didn't fit.
Okay.
And why I say that is because you're not going to let go of Cooper if Dak wasn't cool with it. These guys didn't see a damn thing about it. It was like, just, okay, done. Okay, that's one thing when it comes to Cooper, okay? Listen, a lot of things happen behind the scenes that we know are not going to understand, but sometimes actions speak louder than words. And just by the movement, That's the way I feel about it. I just feel that another year under McCarthy, a healthy team, especially the defense under Dan Quinn, you're going to have a more experienced football team than last year. They're going to be moved more faster because they're going to be understanding the play, understanding what they need to do, the scheme, and all of that. Yes, there are questions. Hands down, they are questions. But I just like the experience that these under another year under this coaching staff. I think these guys will take that lead. I think Jalen Tolbert, like you guys have said a couple of weeks ago, I think he's gonna be one of them guys that steps in. Is he gonna be Amari Cooper? No, we don't have to max stats for other players. It's getting the things done. They still have a quality offense. The problem is just question marks about the offensive line, X, Y, and Z in the third. Now, when it comes to last year's team had a lot of injuries. Okay, last year's team, it was a first year under Dan Quinn, right? This year's team, second year under Dan Quinn, they're gonna be way much better than last year. I think that could basically say that they are basically a whole better football team. You know, when it comes down to the a lot of the question marks, I understand. Yeah. But another year helps. You will be much better. And I'm sorry. Amari Cooper, gone. Miss him. Wish him luck in Cleveland, what's going on over there. I think we have solid guys that can step in. I think CeeDee Lamb is really going to be that number one guy that everybody's questioning that he can. And I think even with Dalton Schultz here, that's going to definitely help out that. That's going to be his number 2 target, in my opinion, until whenever Gallup comes back.
Is he gonna get signed?
I feel he's gonna get signed. I don't think before $2 million. I think he's gonna get signed.
Dalton Schultz.
No,
I think he's gonna get signed.
No, I don't think he gets signed until after this year if they're gonna do it. But I don't think he's coming back after this year.
Yeah. So, all right. So, my turn.
Buying or selling?
Let me get straight real quick.
Uh-oh.
I'm just saying that was a pretty hearty chug before his answer. So.
It's fair. Hold on, wait. Let me get a pull real quick.
Uh-oh.
Oh man.
I do buy that this team will be better than last year's team.
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
I do buy. Let me tell you why. Let me walk through the door real quick. I'll be a little long-winded here. Bear with me. I'm going to start with number one. My number one thing I'm going to start with is the quarterback who is actually throwing in OTAs, which he couldn't do last year. I do buy that Dak, whether it was perceived or not, but now we know Dak finally has his guy. Dez wasn't his guy. Cooper wasn't. Lamb's his guy. And we're seeing that happen. That's one. I do think the other thing that we have to look at is the Dan Quinn effect. And look, I'm not buying the turnovers happening because those are very fluctuating at best, if you will. But I am going to buy, and there's some analytics out there about first year, second year, different things with him when it comes to Dan Quinn and what he's doing. But I'm looking, and again, I'm just reading tea leaves in how I read and expect things to happen. I'm looking at the defensive line, Gallimore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Way he gained, okay. Osa, and again, and I banged the table about Osa last year, Odigizua. If Micah Parsons wasn't on this team, and I'm talking about the first 7 or 8 games, Osa would have got so much pop about what he was doing. And then he hit the rookie wall, overusage with the Gallimore and the Hill injuries and different things. He's gained weight. And if you go back and the wrestling history, you go look at his UCLA tape and everything. Hey, Spoonie, what did I call him last year? What did I call him? Osa was who?
Osa?
Yeah.
Who you compared him to?
Yeah. I said baby what?
Baby Aaron Donald.
What's his name?
Baby Donald.
Yeah.
Baby Aaron Donald.
Baby Donald. Yes.
I'm not saying he'll ever beat Aaron Donald, but he's baby Aaron Donald. He is. I don't look, I'm not here to argue. Go turn on the tape of UCLA, look at his history, look at his first 7 games in the league, and we move forward. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the next step. Golston. How much weight did Golston gain this year? And look, let's go back to what Mike McCarthy said. Golston was the best defensive lineman they got last year. He talked a ton about him, even with the injury. And when he showed up, he did his thing. And we get that through the second year. I go through the defense again. We saw year 1 to year 2 Diggs. How about the jump there? How about year 2 to year 3 Diggs? What happens there? Again, a rookie going to their second year, you expect something to happen, right? Fair? Look, I get it. Parsons. I mean, I get it. How can he get better? 25 years history, rookie, blah, 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 all these things. Guess what? He can get better. Also, the safety room, I think, is going to be better. Gus Hooker's here now. They waited and did things with him. And you saw him walk through at the tail end of the year.
They were very smart about that, too, for the record.
Yes, absolutely. That's how they slow play injuries, let you get healthy, and walk through the door. As we talked about a ton on this channel, Professor O, you're not wrong. And then you think about Jaron Kearse going into the second year. Here's the other things that nobody's going to talk about. And if you're tuning into this channel and why you should sub, here context, and we talk about it. Anthony Brown on this Cowboys team, slot outside, different coordinators or whatever. Guess what? We talked about this on this channel years ago, that he's better outside than the slot. We knew that already. He played slot. He played outside last year. Career interceptions. That's fair. Also, if you take the Tampa game and the Raiders game away for what he's getting paid, put him up against any other number 2 cornerback in the league, it's going to be good.
He should have been a Pro Bowler.
It's going to be good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now he goes to his second season, same coaching staff, same everything, and he's the guy. And be clear about him last year. He beat out a second-round pick in Kelvin Joseph. Also, we took a guy in the 3rd round in Nashawn Wright, which I want him to walk through the door. Don't get it twisted. Because everybody thought 6th, but hey, Dan Quinn said, no, this guy has traits that I love. He beat those guys out and exceeded. And now he's going back into the lab with all these things happening, right? So again, we can talk about the linebacker depth or whatever, and I understand that it matters. Absolutely, I understand that. But low-key, these guys are going to happen. So let me pivot to the offensive side of the ball. All right, that's the defensive side. Okay? I already said it. I let out with it. I didn't forget about our quarterback who's throwing now and not later. That matters. Has this guy now, not later. Say what you want to about Zeke. 4th game, torn PCL on his knee. For what it's worth, 7th in the league in rushing, 5th in the NFC. Sure, we would like to see Pollard more. I understand that. Spoony, yeah, look, we don't want to pay Schultz $14 million a year. I get it. However, his stock goes up right now. Well, what's happening? It happens. And I believe in Dak. If you don't believe in Dak, maybe you're off the thing, right? Offensive line. They're doing what I want to see in competition for the center. Yes, let's do that. And I'll buy everything else. So yeah, I don't think depth-wise that we're better than last year. I think our depth, I felt like our depth was, at this point, not in general, I think our depth last year at this time was better. However, overall, I'm buying this team is better. I'm buying this team cannot win the division to a certain extent, get to the playoffs and win a playoff game. And I think that matters. Not that they won't win the division. I'm just saying in general. So yeah, no, I am buying into the coaching staff. Kellen Moore should be better. He's young. He should get better. The backside on that is our head coach said, I'm going to be more involved in the offensive scheme. Those things matter. So yeah, to a certain extent, man, I do buy that. Not going to Dubai, but I actually buy. If you will. Not like our brother Jay took going to Dubai, but I will buy, if you will. I will buy. I think this team can be better than last year, absolutely, because I think there's a lot of things that are antithesis that matter. Guys getting better from last year and this going to this year. Coaches being better this year from last year, and in general, the one thing that we do and we get caught up in as fan base, as any fan base, not just the Cowboys, just any fan base, is we forget like players are allowed to get better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just are, and we think about how these rookies last year did things, and then like they should get better. Go to CeeDee Lamb in his first 2 years, and everybody's concerned because Cooper's not here, blah blah blah. But you've seen CeeDee Lamb do his thing. 18 million quarterbacks his rookie year, right? Boom. Last year, boom. Okay, walk through the door. And there has to be antithesis of us in understanding about our team or any team. Forget this, just any team. That guys are allowed to get better, especially in their first 4 years. Mm-hmm. Now, once you get past the fourth year, like fifth, sixth, seventh, okay, things are indifferent. But your first like 2-3 years, there's jumps to be had that happen. So with that being said, and how they built the team, I'm buying. Spoon, I'm with you.
Nick, I have a question for you. So, a question for actually you and Spoonie both, in the chat as well, for those that are buying. Maybe a hard question to answer. We'll just assume we'll take health out of the equation because that's unknown. What's the number one thing the Cowboys team now needs to do to be better than last season? What's the number one thing for you guys that if they do and we stay healthy, that they will be a better team? Is that stopping the run, reducing penalties, getting more sacks? Like, what is the number one thing that you guys think can be the catalyst to have a better season than what we had last year?
Go ahead, Spoon.
I definitely go reducing the penalties. You know, it takes momentum out the game. You go backwards. It has happened a couple of times, a lot of times last season. Did we lead the league in penalties? Am I mistaken?
Yeah, I think we were tied with the Raiders, but we had more yards, but we were tied or something like that.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll say this: better play calling. Better play calling from the other side of the ball, and I think with Mike McCarthy being more involved, I think that will definitely make us better than last year.
Okay.
So far, we have defense needs to finish in the fourth quarter from Mike Van Horn Sr. Bruce got the toxic juice as a better OC. Stephen White said a solid kicker number one, and then Bruce went, I guess, for a second time around with time and penalties too. So that's where we're at in the chat.
Okay. And repeat the question so everybody hears it again. I can post. I would love to have the question here, but
I didn't post it. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
The question was, are you buying or selling that this Cowboys team is better or will be better than last year? So my question was, for anybody who thinks that we will be better, what's the number one thing you think we need to do this season versus last year to improve?
Gotcha. I think number one, a couple of things, if I can. Can I expound? Is that okay?
Yeah, no, you can give me a few and just tell me what you think is the most important and what's the 1B or whatever. I don't care.
I think the number one thing that matters the most for this team is Dak's healthy. I just think that matters in general. I think the fact that he's here, he's going. Now, look, right, and we got into camp and things happened or whatever. I think the fact that he's healthy now and what's happening, I think is A1 for this offense. No matter how we feel about the defense or whatever's happening. But I think in general, to the root of your question is what McCarthy said. I'll be more involved in the offense. And I think that matters. And that goes back to a lot of the things in the comments and what Spoonie said. We talked about this a lot last year's is the scheme of the running, the scheme of different things, especially against like certain coverages and whatever the case may be, is Kellen Moore needed help. So I think he's moving forward. But I think the more so part, and what I've asked from year one of McCarthy as we did content, in year two of McCarthy doing content, I always said, hey, I need McCarthy to say, hey, slap the hand, hey, you're chill out, you need to do this or whatever. And finally, McCarthy walked through that door in his press conference and said, I'll be more involved in offense. I think that matters a ton for this team. I just do. I really do. Because I think his influence from what we've seen Kellen Moore that's had influence from the Scott Linehans and the Jason Garrett's or whatever, I think it matters. So I'm excited about that side of it. And I hope like it's not tongue-in-cheek that he's going to walk through the door. So I am buying that. So yeah, I think most importantly, I think the defense is going to progress because of the young guys getting better on the Quinn side. But I think the number one thing, as people have talked about maybe some of the talent that we lost offensively, I think on the backside, Mike McCarthy being more involved in the offense matters a ton here. Along with Dak Prescott being ready now and throwing balls and not in a chair throwing balls, like standing up and moving around, throwing balls, if you will.
I think your answer, all of it, both answers from you guys was great. But I especially love the first part of your answer because the caveat I threw is we're just going to assume health because, you know, we don't know what's going to happen.
Right. So
people think about players getting hurt. You went the other way with it.
Yeah.
Dak's healthy now, which I know people bring that up, but that is such a huge difference.
Right.
Like you mentioned, having Dak fully healthy now versus having him fully healthy at training camp or fully healthy at mini camp or fully healthy in February. He's been healthy the whole time.
Yes.
Like that's huge. So like I like that you went with that angle because when I asked that question, I wasn't really thinking about I was just kind of saying we'll remove injuries from the equation, but the angle you went with it makes a lot of sense. And I agree with you guys that play calling is probably the biggest thing aside from penalties. So my question now is to
schematically how they play, how they call the plays too. Oh, I just want to, you're not wrong. I'm just saying schematically, because me and you and Spoonie, a ton about the run game and how they call the plays, it matters.
Yeah. So now I want to hear from Space and Montana, two people that went the opposite route. For you guys that don't believe the Cowboys team is better now, what's one thing they need to do differently this year versus last year that you think could make them better? We'll start with Space.
I think that the biggest thing from last season is they can't play musical chairs with the offensive line, especially how they did it towards the middle and end of the year. And I think with what you're doing this year, and I'll give this a positive for the Cowboys, is you have a solidified understanding of, okay, these are your guys. Now, minus probably your center position, but it's not like in the middle of the season, you're like, well, I'm going to have to move people around. So I think having that continuity, like Mike McCarthy mentions, that's a big thing, right? Like you need to have your guys there. And you saw the difference between the start of the year and the tail end of the year. So for me, number one, that offensive line's got to play better. And yes, you lost two starters, whether people want to paint them a certain light or not. Listen, when you lose two guys that started for you last season, and people are like, oh, well, Lyle this, Lyle that, or Connor Williams this, Connor Williams that, that's still a huge factor, right? The second thing is on the defensive side of the ball, you losing Randy Gregory, not saying that he was bad. It's just like that's a big piece there because you're kind of banking on Dorrance Armstrong to fill in those shoes, which we'll see in expanded minutes. We'll see how he can do. And this linebacking core, you're kind of hoping for the best of it. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, let's just hope Micah stays healthy and pray. Like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. So I would say that for the Cowboys to have a good season this year compared to last year, that offensive line can't be shuffled around and has to be intact. And if someone gets hurt, like Tyron Smith will eventually get hurt, whoever is his backup, he's got to stay there. Like you can't just like move that piece around. And then as for the defensive side of the ball, I'm looking at Dorrance Armstrong in that rotation, and I'm hoping that they can do their part. And can that linebacking core give me something? Because I can't rely on Micah to do everything. And that's something I hope the Cowboys, it doesn't bite the Cowboys in the ass.
Or can you?
But shut up.
All right,
Fair
appreciate
enough.
it. Montana, what about you? What's one thing the Cowboys need to do differently or better this year than last year to have a better record or be a better team? We'll forget the record part. Just be a better team.
My major concern is the coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball. Like, I'm not worried about Dan Quinn. It's just can Kellen Moore put Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott in the wide receiver core? Even Dalton Schultz, can he put him in a better position to exceed? Because it's like, you get tired of always hearing about, you know what I'm saying, how Dak, y'all know how back in the day, how it was like, oh, well, Zeke is carrying Dak, and like Dak needs Zeke in order to be great. And it's just like, man, no, it's just like you gotta have that coaching staff behind you that can put you in that right position on the field, put the call to plays right. Like, I mean, like in certain games, you should be able to, you know what I'm saying, switch your play on the fly. Like, without, or we just gonna keep running the ball straight up the middle. Like, if you know, you know what I'm saying, running Zeke up the middle ain't working, HB draws, you know what I'm saying? Throw some sweeps out, do something. Like RPOs, like every team know.
Throw a counter.
Like, we all know when the game first started and we got the series, what we do. What we all know what we about to do. Run the ball, right? Instead of doing that, why not come out on the first play, throw a pay action? Because every team know we gonna run the ball when we come out on the first series. So, like, switch it up sometimes, man. Like, that's just my only problem. It's just Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore, they got to do a better job this year, in my opinion.
I think some of that happens with Dak being healthy, because not just some issues in camp, but even throughout the season, there was issues, and we had to really compartmentalize the injury he had prior and what happened, right, and understand. Like, the fact that he played last year was crazy if you think about his injury. And then think about the further he's removed from that said injury, the better he'll be. And to me, that's why I say about last year's team to this year's team, there's an idea with me of that's the big caveat for this team, on top of the defensive young guys getting better. We'll see how it happens, obviously. So yeah, I mean, it's a good time, and we're ready for a good time.
I'll give you guys my answer. It's a different take than where you guys are going.
Sure.
And I think the truth of the matter is it's going to take a mixture
We already
of all
at camp.
of these things.
I'm
already at camp, so I know
camp,
what's
so you
happening. I'm
know.
already here. The players are working out behind me. I got a good feel. So and so's on the cords. We're good to go.
Yeah, let's go.
Did you get a picture with Rowdy?
Oh yeah. Hold on.
Listen, you guys should be there.
Yo, he stays with a picture with Rowdy.
There you go. Now he's at the full Cowboy experience right there. Due diligence at its finest.
This was his loading time. You guys see it?
Yeah, we see it.
Rowdy.
Yeah. All right. So my
wait. Well, I don't want Rowdy behind you before this sake.
All right,
it'll be Jinx. Let's switch it up. We don't want that Rowdy. We don't want that. There we go. All right, now go ahead.
All right.
There we go.
So my one thing I think that needs to be better for the Cowboys this year, and again, since I brought health into the equation, I need DeMarcus Tank Lawrence to be the guy that's going to have 12 to 15 sacks, because I know what Micah Parsons can do. And I know that statistically speaking, it's very unlikely we're going to match the turnovers that we had last year. The takeaways are probably going to drop down. If I can get an elite season from Tank, which obviously he missed 10 games last year, so I understand he was going to have a difference. But when he was there, he was an elite run stopper. If I can get elite pass rushing from Tank, I think we can be a better team. And I'm not disagreeing with anything you guys say. Like I said, I think a lot of those are true, but I think that's the one thing for me. If I can get that, I believe I will buy that this team can be better.
So basically, you want the contract year Tank back there.
I'm picking up. Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I got a hot take.
Yeah.
I got a hot take.
Whoa. Wait. Hold on. Before you get the hot take, Spoon. We have two options here. We can fold out of here and then fire up the space to give the hot take, or do you want to drop your hot take here?
I'm gonna drop it here while it's hot. While we get
Hot.
hot.
Like, drop it like it's hot. Let's go.
That's it.
That pan is hot on that stove right now.
Yeah.
Spoonie trying to get it off the stove.
Yeah.
Go ahead and drop it then.
Drop it.
Dak Prescott will join the 40 club touchdown.
Ooh, fire.
I don't think that's a hot take. I don't think it's
You
a hot
okay?
take. No, he had 37 last year. Injured and missing a game. I don't
But
think
you
that's
know
hot at
what?
all.
You know what? See, that's how
If you tell me he's then joining the 45 club,
no.
maybe.
PO always lift. You know what? 45.
Ooh.
I'm going 45.
Okay.
I'm going
I
45.
like it. I like it.
I'm going 45.
I'll give you.
push you.
I'll,
Push you.
I'll give you a hotter take. I think Dak Prescott leads the league in touchdown passes this year.
55, 56? Space. What's up? Yeah.
Hold on,
I
hold
love
on,
this.
hold
Hold
on.
on,
No,
y'all.
we're running. Whoa.
I love this.
Wow. I'm putting the cap on this. I'm putting
Raise
the
the
cap.
bar.
I'm putting the lid on this. It's y'all going too far now. You're going too far. Look,
All I
my guy
asked
Spoonie-
for was take to
Hold on.
have.
Listen, I was just giving you a look at understand.
Wait. My guy
Those were
Spoonie
record-breaking
said. My guy
years.
Spoonie said 40, and then I was like, "Well, that's not really that hot." 45. So was like,
Push me right into it.
Yeah,
I'm going
he said, you
45.
know what? I'm going 45, and then space out of the rafters, like dadgum Sting said. He's in the league.
Yeah, but so he said leading the league, and then Spoonie was like, forget 45, 56. We just went from 40 to 45 to 56. It's a touchdown difference.
And he said
In 10
73.
seconds.
Jesus,
And he
man.
said 73.
Damn.
And he always in the bar now.
That
So
means
let me hear
CD
from you guys.
Lamb got 25
Do you think my take
touchdowns.
is
Oh.
realistic? Do you guys think we could see that elite pass rushing?
No.
Because Tank gets there with pressures. Can he close this year at the rate we need him to?
Are we?
To
What,
offset.
what? Are we going to get? Put? To me, when it comes to saying he needs to push in the middle, does the push in the middle happen? Then yeah, I think you can walk through the door, but the push has to happen in the middle for him to win that way. Honestly, for me, an elite season from him right now, and how he plays the position. 10 to 11 sacks for me. That's how I kind of look at
That'd be a
it.
great year.
10 to 11 sacks.
That's good, bro.
Well, hold on. Here's the thing, though, Montana. I'll buy 8. Tell me how many sacks for or how many tackles for loss. Because the one thing
Good point.
I'm telling y'all right now,
Yeah,
real
that's a good
quick,
point.
real quick. I've banged the table for this about 6 months or so. Man, I am really going to really get out here on my Twitter and everything and really get there because I don't see enough people talking about this. And I'm telling y'all now, tackles for loss are just as good as sacks. I believe that to my core because it doesn't mean if it's a run or a sack, it's a tackle for loss. Tackles for loss are every bit as good as a sack. The problem is the league in fans in general or whatever don't value them the same way, and it's kind of an afterthought. They kind of go, here's sacks, here's tackles, oh well, here's some tackles for loss. Brother, tackles for loss are every bit more important than 3. I got 3. Look, Jesus Christ, I'm really spinning myself here real quick because I'm upset about it because people don't talk about tackles for loss so much. Jalen Smith of the lead in tackles. I hate to bring up Jalen Smith real quick. Jalen Smith led the league in tackles before he got cut last year. Where did he get the tackles at? I don't care about tackle. I care about tackles, but I don't care about tackles in a big conundrum of stats in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yards down the field. Tell me about tackles, line of scrimmage, or behind them. And again, nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about tackles for loss. I don't understand it.
First and 10, you stuff the run, 2-yard loss. You have a 2nd and 12. First and 10, quarterback steps up in the pocket, you sack him, 2-yard loss. What's the difference? You have 2nd and 12 either way. They're equally important.
So, y'all want to hear something crazy?
That hard. Thank you, O.
You're welcome.
Y'all want to hear something crazy?
Sure.
DeMarcus Lawrence, right? His best year, his best sack year, which was 14.5 sacks. Guess how many tackle for losses he had that year?
Tell the fam. Tell him.
14 tackles for losses. He had 14. But guess how many quarterback hits he had that year, though?
Get him up there.
26.
Wow.
It matters.
And then the next year, he had 23 and then 15 tackle for losses with 10.5 sacks.
Again,
so if he's having 14 and a half sacks and 14 and a half tackles for loss, basic math tells me he had 29 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. That's a big impact. If you can get that plus whatever you get from Dorrance, whatever you get from Chauncey, whatever you get from all the other guys on the line, like that's a big year from the defensive line.
That's
huge. To me, because I'm afraid of the takeaways dropping. You do that, I'm good on defense.
Like this is why I said 8 sacks was cool. I looked at Michael Bennett stats from that year when they went to the Super Bowl when they beat Peyton Manning and them. He had 8 sacks, but he had 26 quarterback hits.
How many tackles for loss though?
Hold on. I forgot how much he had for loss. I gotta look at that. Let me look at that real quick.
You want to hit the quarterback. I'm not disagreeing. You want to hit the quarterback. But again, tackles for loss are as old walked it out. First down. You tackled the running back for a 2-3 yard loss, or you sacked the quarterback for a 2-3 yard loss. What's the difference? There's not a difference. The only difference is folks want to say, he got sacks. And they want to talk about the other side. And that shit matters to me. And again, that's the one thing that I'm going to really campaign for this year about when it comes to defensive linemen, especially your defensive tackles, who now prototypically don't really get a lot of sacks. But what they do is get tackles for loss. It matters.
And why it matters too is one of the major stats that shows your correlation to winning is your success rate. So that's talking about the yardage you gain on first down versus the yards to go. And then the yardage you pick up on second and third down versus the yardage needed to go. The reality is, it doesn't matter if you're Pat Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Joe Montana, whatever quarterback you want. If you're starting the ball with a loss, so you have second and 12, your odds of picking up a first down, even as an elite quarterback or an all-time great quarterback, is significantly lower than if you're working with a 2nd and 7 or 2nd and 6. Like that stuff matters. That's a huge swing there. So when you get not only a no gain, but a loss of yardage, it's great to hit a quarterback, but if you're able to impact the game where their entire play calling are changing for second and third down, that matters. So, I think Nick's pushing the TFL is probably the right angle there.
Hey, you just opened up Pandora's box with this tackles for loss, man. Because, like, Michael Bennett was on a whole nother level with that tackle for loss. Like, in his whole career, when he was with us, like, the little snap that he had with us, he had 11 tackles for losses with 11 quarterback hits. Just on that little bit of time that he had with us. And I think it was, 5 games with us?
In Montana, the thing, too, is people won't mention him as an elite player when they're talking about a guy like a TJ Watt or Von Miller or whoever.
Yeah.
That's an elite impact. That's the difference. You don't have to be an elite player to have an elite impact or be an elite player to have a very good impact. If he can do that opposite of Micah Parsons, knowing what we're probably going to get from the other guys, like that matters. That's a huge difference from our defense this year versus last year, where now you don't need to rely on the interceptions to be successful.
Montana, go dial up Micah Parsons' tackles for loss last year, real quick. Go dial that up for me. And again, and that's just the point. Like, we have to change our idea. I already knew. Yeah, Montana.
Hey, yo, Micah had 20 tackles for losses, with 30 quarterback hits.
Bro. And that's what I'm saying. Like people don't understand. Like, we have to change our mindset. We look, me, and Spoonie, we kind of did a space. We kind of did a whole walkabout when it came to PFF and things that are happening or whatever the case may be and different things. And look, and one thing, I'm sorry, I'm gonna a little history for you, just in general for context here. Like, went through some processes with PFF and doing some writing, and he was able to understand what they do and hit us with it and kind of move around. It's like we kind of have a better understanding of how they do things, right? So those things matter. I'm not saying they don't matter because every team subscribes to them or whatever, but in general, like if you understand how the breakdown is, it doesn't really pertain. There's certain things they do that are really good. There's other things that they do. It's like, no, this is garbage.
Damn.
In between all that, the one thing that I've never seen, and I've watched this league along, hey Spoonie, as we talk about, here, let's go to the Stone Age, Spoon, me and you, right now. Stone Age, we're old as shit. We're going to Stone Age. The one thing that I've always understood about the game, from as a 70s baby and watching it, playing it, the whole nine, whatever, is line of scrimmage matters, right? That's what matters. You know, controlling it offensively or defensively. And in general, the one thing that's always been a conundrum to me is, why do tackles for loss not get highlighted enough? And I've been this way for over a decade because it matters in general what's happening. So look, sacks are great, but look, if you have a defensive end that goes out here and gets 14 sacks, and on the backside of that, he has, let's say, 10 tackles for loss. He's really just headhunting the quarterback. He ain't doing shit. He's not playing this position. He's not doing things the right way. And those are the things that matter, you know. And again, whether it's a sack or if you get a sack for a 2-yard loss, or you get a tackle for a 4-yard loss, what matters more? And nobody ever talks about that.
BJ, I'm gonna go to the history with you.
Yes, Eddie. 1978. Yes, Eddie.
Let me tell you this right here. I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. Got my tattoo. I'm a Cowboy fan. But my favorite football player all time outside of Dallas, Lawrence Taylor. I call him the best football player all time, regardless of his position. That's just my opinion.
Right.
I argue I never liked the sack record, the sacks at all as much. You know why? It's popular. It's like the popular girl in high school. Meanwhile, the real good woman is a tackle for loss. They still have not counted the sacks that the LT put up still in the 80s. So these plays, and there's a whole lot of numbers out there. These plays right now are fortunate to just beat what the record was initially put up, but that's not the real number. There's a lot of numbers out there that they never factor in. And I tell you this right now, sacks, don't get me wrong, it's popular, it's important, but tackles for loss, it's in my opinion, doesn't get highlighted enough. It's very it can change the momentum of the game because why?
Yeah. Come with me, Spoon. Come on.
You
y'all
going
walk
back?
out the door with me. Yeah, come on with me, Spoon.
Can I bring something back full circle?
Sure.
So last year, linebacker depth, LVE that we talked about earlier, had his career year in tackles for loss. Anybody want to take a guess how many it was?
4.
3.
4 tackles for loss. What was that number, Micah Parsons?
Space is so petty.
Positions, but still.
Space.
Hold on, though. I got one even worse.
Hold on. Space said 3. Come on, Space.
He was almost there. No, he wouldn't have been wrong. Just that because here's his entire career. Rookie year, when we thought he was great. 2 tackles for loss. The next year, 1. The next year, 1. And last year, 4. He actually duplicated his entire career.
Shit, wow, look at that.
I gave him too much credit. I thought Space undersold it. I was going with 7. I'm 4. Sorry.
He was pretty close.
Nah, but our rookie Sam, guess how many Sam Williams had for a loss in college?
Oh, shoot it out there.
15 tackles for loss with 12 sacks.
It matters.
It matters. Hey.
It matters. Big facts. With that being said, guys, we're going to wrap up. It's 11:46. For anybody on the panel, if you want to rock, I will do a space. Anybody in the chat, I'll do a space at midnight Central. In 14 minutes, I'm going to go piss. I'll put my cup up and whatever, and I'll launch it, and we'll see what happens. But with that being said, let me make sure I do the right thing. Every Friday, 7:30 p.m. Central, we have the Cowboys Happy Hour space on Twitter. At 9:30, y'all see the business. This is what we do. Y'all, we drop it. I got Space came through. Montana, I got Sam earlier. We drop it. Y'all come up here and rock with us. It is what it is. And that's how we do every episode 3 tonight. And then, of course, every Wednesday through training camp, Pick 6 Sports Live. Catch me, Spoonie, Professor O, and, of course, Margarita Mary as always. So yeah, the content's flowing. We're making things happen. We love and appreciate everybody that's rocking with us. With that, let me give my guy Space a little red carpet here. Go right ahead, Space. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can follow me at Space Cowboy 17 on YouTube and on Twitter as well. Space Cowboy XVII. If you want to go ahead and do that, that'd be great. I'm a bit under the weather, as you probably could tell. I'm trying to fight this fever back, so that's what I've been doing. But we're getting closer. We're really close to that training camp, and it's going to be so much fun. You know, I can't wait to talk about how someone threw 5 interceptions.
I want to give a quick plug to Space Cowboy. The first show I ever did with Star Gang was with BJ Nix. He invited me on, and Space Cowboy was on there. So I had a chance to do a show with Ricardo, my first ever YouTube experience with him. So a lot of love there. Definitely make sure that you check out his channel, subscribe to it, click the bell. He has really, really good content. Smack Nation, Montana's going to get to plug himself next. Highly recommend you check him out too. Like, these guys, having their own show is wonderful. Like, make sure that you follow them. It doesn't take a lot of effort on your part to show them love. And if you don't have a chance to watch it live, that's cool. We understand everyone has lives. Just click the save, watch later, and listen to it on your way home from work. Listen to it in the morning when you're working out. Whatever you do, make sure you check out their content because they're very good at what they do.
Yeah, and let me throw some flowers out real quick. I literally met Professor O. I got invited to a Facebook chat. It's how I ended up meeting Professor O. And you know, things happen, and we went back and forth at times within that channel and talked about generational running back, you know, if you will, and battle back and forth when it came to Zeke and whatnot. And for me personally, I was like, I've been doing content for 4 or 5 years already. I was like, O's kind of got it. O's kind of got it a little bit. And I was like, yo, man, come on. And I was like, man, I love to, but I got to take a rain check. And I was like, all right, it's cool. Take the rain check. I'll say, but guess what? I'm bringing you on. I like the rain check's fine. I'm taking the rain check and I'm going to cash it in. And then I'm thankful.
That's exactly how it went down too.
Yeah. I'm thankful that walked through the door because from a football standpoint, not just Cowboys, just in general how his mind works. Thankfully, it's about the Cowboys and not the. We could talk about the Hawks tonight. We're not going to do that though. But just in general, because if it was a different team, it'd be just as great. It could pick a different team. But it was about the Cowboys in general, and I enjoyed it. And I'm so glad that he took the chance after I pressured him super heavy to come on and walk through the door. It's been a great ride for over a year now with my guy O. And I'm thankful that, and shout out to Stephen Keever. He's the guy who added me to said Facebook chat messenger or whatever. That's how I met O. Because if not, I never would have bumped O. And you just never know. So yeah, O, I'm thankful that you gave me the rain check so I could cash it in. And you walk through the door and low key, as you're along for the ride with us, used to be a Star Game, now Pick 6, and watching you grow and do things. And I'll get some irons in the fire on the back end. I'm cheering for you, and I want to see you land that. Appreciate you, brother. And
I appreciate that.
Multiple and ultimate facets, bro. I really do.
I appreciate that, and I want to bring it back full circle too, because I've just done a little bit over a year now. If you're in the YouTube chat watching, we have that link. Friday night's your chance. Like, jump up here. It could just be an experience to test the waters, get your toe in there, feel it, see if it's something you're interested in doing. It may be something you're like, I don't know, maybe I'm comfortable in the chat. Just hop on, ask a question, hop off if you don't feel comfortable, or if you feel good after you ask the question, just hang out and chat with us. Like, Montana joined and has hung out most of the night. Space was here the whole night. The last few weeks we had Cole jump on and do the same thing. So, like, just give it a try. Like, you don't know if you're passionate about the Cowboys and you like doing this, you like talking to like-minded people, whether you agree or disagree. It's good to have that balance out there. So give it a chance. Like Eddie O, Steven, Steven, you're on all the YouTube shows. Like, give it a shot.
Yes.
Jump on one time with us. Slim Pickens, you've been here all night, and we appreciate that. Like,
Yeah.
if it's not next Friday, make it the Friday after that. You know we're
Right.
going to be here Friday nights. The link's there. Just click it. That's all you got to do.
And look, my guy Eddie O, he's always in the spaces, and he talks super heavy.
Yeah, right. In the space.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, he makes it happen. You know what I mean?
I want to say this. You know, and I'll tell you this right now. PO coming on, joining us is a big blessing, especially for me because, you know, and a lot of other Cowboy content creators because, you know, the way he speaks about the game is different. And a lot of times, you know, some people some may have a certain, you know, are afraid to admit whatever the thing that he say, you can actually learn from it. You know, when it comes to watching film, when it comes to understanding PFF, I mean, these are the things like right now. It's like somebody who has an old telephone, they don't want to learn about the new iPhone, which is up to date. That's what PO means to me. And as long as he's been on here, he's been able to step up my game even more to understand, to not only...
Yes, Spoon, here's what we need from you, Professor O.
Wait,
stop
can I
acting you.
finish,
No. I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna let you finish.
Can I finish?
But no, I'm gonna let you
Beyonce
finish.
had the greatest album of all time.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish. Spoon. We need that whole I don't want to be holding y'all back stuff to chill out.
Yeah. PO being here helps elevate everybody's game even more. You're able to speak the game and watch the game in a different way than just watching what's on TV, and that's a big thing. I'm gonna tell you this right here. I've been doing this for a long time. I've dealing with a lot of great guys in X, Y, and Z. And my always thing is don't be afraid to come out and want to try something. You're not gonna get everything you want in the beginning. It'll come in due time, but don't ever be afraid to learn. That's the biggest thing. Nobody's an expert here. We all learn every day. Listen, there's times where BJ would call me in the middle of the night and I got a breaking news or X, Y, and Z. I've learned many things. I've also even read The Art of War. My God. All
You're
right.
welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. You know, when it comes to PO and his numbers, it was like me going back to school again. I said, I don't like school, but you know what? End of the day, this is the kind of type of class I got to take to understand. I want to be able to be understanding everything to the T.
Right.
It's like speaking another language, and I love it. PO is one of those guys coming up, and I tell him right now, he is the walking PFF of Cowboy Nation. And if you want to soak his sponges, his brain, or whatever, that's the guy to go to. I'm keeping a buck with that.
Yeah, and honestly,
Give Montana a chance.
No, I'm about to pivot to Montana right now because Smack Nation's in the building. Man, we want to rock with y'all, and again, I would like to think that the way we do content and everything else, man, we're the people's champ. That's us how to build it and how we rock and what we do. And when we're at games and everything else, man, we're going to rock with y'all. And, you know, when we're here, we want to rock with y'all. So that's why we did this Friday Freestyle, to make sure we can rock with y'all in this space. So it's a fun time and everything else in between, if you will. Montana, Smack Nation. Go ahead, man.
Subscribe.
No, I just want to say, man, everybody getting their flowers. I just want to say, man, I just appreciate y'all letting me come up here and, you know, share my thoughts on the Cowboys. You know, this is something that I love to do. I love talking sports, you know, and like Cowboys talk, you know, it gets me amped all the time. That, you know what I'm saying? I get to share my thoughts with other Cowboy content, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I especially like about Montana? He and I seem to agree on a lot of stuff. We're very like-minded. So Montana's my guy.
Easy. Low-key, I've been
We're on the same wavelength.
Look, y'all missed out on I was lone wolf like 2 different times tonight, and nobody called me on the lone wolfness. I appreciate that calling me out. Well, somebody's going to rewind this and clip like, damn, Nick, she was out there on the line. I'm going to lose somewhere in that, but it is what it is. Well, me and Spoon, we're in the foxhole, me and you on the better than not. So, Spoony, we're the tag team champs. What's to ride that the rest of the way about this team? So
yeah, you guys do that, and I got my guys. Ricardo Space over here. I got Montana Smack Nation over here. We're good.
It's a handicap match. Oh, Spoony, we're in a handicap match. We're in a handicap match.
You
Coming out
chill.
top rope with the bat. We're good over here. Montana, go ahead. Let them know where they can find you, bro.
Look, my guy White said, well, let's go at tight end is fire. Go
He's
ahead,
pitched
man.
that idea so much now that when he first did it, I was like, Steven, come on, it's not going to happen. Now
No,
I've
he's
heard it so many
still-
times, I'm like, maybe it will, man.
Listen, did you not see that playoff game where we ran 2 hit routes with linemen? Jesus.
I know, bro. It might be awesome.
Space, don't do that. Me and
Don't
Spoon's in
remind
the
us.
building. We're not happy about it.
In space, if I haven't told you, it was a privilege meeting you and your wife down in Dallas. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Space makes me laugh. Let me tell you, son. Space, Boricua.
Yes.
All right, that's where I get it from. All right. See, let me tell you something.
Space got more followers in like a week as Steven Jones than I have in 2 years.
Oh my
It's
God.
crazy.
What was that, Spoony? What's up?
Not enough pie around for them followers. Not enough pie. Go ahead, but by all means, Montana, go ahead and tell the people they can find you, bro.
Y'all can find me at Twitter at Montana Max. Y'all can find me on Instagram at Smack Nation Podcast. I got a new platform on the podcast site. Y'all can find me on Spotify as Smack Nation Sports. You know, I had to make me another platform because my last one got shut down from the laptop incident. So
10-4.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Look forward to your content this year, and let's not get that shut down so you can keep moving forward, if you will. With that being said, yeah, man, 11:58. Look, I mean, I got about another hour in me, so we'll pivot out of here. I'll be on Twitter Space. If y'all want to come through, anybody on the panel, anybody in the chat, by all means, and we'll see where it goes. Now, look, if it gets a little litty, y'all know me, Spoony. We'll do a 6-hour joint.
Oh nah, man. I'm ready to go upstate in a couple hours.
You better come through, Spoon. I want to hear. Y'all, we appreciate y'all. Y'all know what the business is. Next Wednesday for sure, 8:30 p.m. Central. We'll be back with the Pick 6 Live broadcast. We're back on offense. We got roster breakdown series. We're on offense, right?
Right.
Okay. We'll decide. Are we
Quarterback,
tight end, quarterback?
Tight ends, folks. We're going tight ends.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, says we're going tight end. All right,
Yeah.
bet. So Wednesday we're doing the roster breakdown series. We're continuing that. We're rolling with the tight ends. That's going to be fun for a myriad of reasons. Tight end next week, obviously, and of course, whatever happens, we got the news and notes. Maybe another special guest. We had J Tech last week. I got some things in the iron. We might have a different special guest. We'll see what happens. And then, of course, fast forward outside of Wednesday, the Cowboys Happy Hour, boom, is going to be at 7:30 p.m. Central, the space, 9:30 Freestyle Fridays every week. And in case y'all don't know, for long-term listeners, y'all might have been missing the Spoony sermon. It used to be Spoony's minute. Professor Omi said, hey, man, it's too long. We can't condense him to a minute. He keeps going longer. We turned it into the Spoony sermon. He's been ready. However, we said, no, Spoon. You got to wait. So our last show, prior to camp kicking off, we finally unleash Spoony's sermon before we go to camp. And I cannot wait. Professor O, I'm more excited about that show than anything else we're doing right now.
I mean, we introduced a new segment on Wednesdays called I Object by Mary. The way that those two have went so far, now seeing Spoonie's sermon come in, like, I can't wait to see what our shows are like when both are together in the same segments.
Yeah, I mean, hashtag DTI, don't tuck it. Hashtag let it hang. I mean, that's where we are in the I Object section. But Spoonie, I already know. You kind of like dropped me some tidbits or whatever. I know Spoonie's already building up. He's literally working on his sermon prior to camp now. It's a can't miss segment. I'm telling you now as we get to the season. But the one before camp, I cannot wait. And our producer Jay, by the way, Spoonie, I haven't told you this. Oh, yeah. My guy Bruce. There it is. Hashtag it. Yeah. By the way, Spoonie, I'm gonna do this live for everybody here in case you didn't know. Producer Jay's already working on a special overlay for Spoonie segment.
Oh, listen, I'm
Spoonie tournament, I should say.
That shout out with this. He's amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
get ready.
Amazing.
Get ready. So with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap up here the Freestyle Friday. Again, every 9:30 p.m. Central, you can come right here and rock with us. We'll drop, as y'all saw Sam earlier and everybody else, we will drop the link. Y'all can come up here, kick it with us, video or not, and chop it up. This is what Fridays are about, for sure. On the backside, it's free 99. Like, share, sub. Free 99. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We appreciate y'all as always. And of course, I'm Loki. Keep it about. I'm gonna go pee. Spacious has a highest fee. He's gonna break it. He's probably gonna show up anyways. And I'm launching a Twitter space, and we'll just keep rocking for a little bit and see what's good. Outside of that, we'll catch y'all next week for sure. And of course, if you're following us, everybody's Twitter handle is down here in the bottom. Make sure you go follow everybody on Twitter, and you catch the content when we're not live. Y'all know the business.